Oh my God. Yes, sir. How you doing? Welcome, and we appreciate all of you coming aboard. Thank you so much. It is scheduled drop day. Yes, sir. It is scheduled drop day. Are you ready for your schedule to be dropped? I actually am. I won't lie. Anything the National Football League does, I'm all over it, man. I really am. I'm all over it. NFL has a great way of promoting the sport. They do such a sensational job. It's a reason why they are, without a doubt, the number one sports league in America for a reason. They know what they're doing when it comes to putting out, you know, you have the Super Bowl to start the year. Then you go into free agency. Then you got the NFL draft. Then you got post draft stuff. Then you have schedule drop. Then you got June 1. June 1's becoming a thing now, right? Like June 1's becoming a deal. And shit, by the time you get ready to roll in, it's July and you're getting ready for training camp. And you got the Hall of Fame game right around the corner. Incredible, man. NFL is gold. Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. And we got you filled here. By the way, I'm going to give you the latest on where the Eagles are right now. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 games as of right now that have been dripped out and have been kind of like leaked out a bit. So week 1, they got the Commander. Some of you said that. Hey, James Jones, how you doing, bro? Jaden Daniels versus Jalen Hurts. Yes, sir, baby. Right out of the way. Right out of the way. So that's week 1. Week 3, Eagles and Bears. Monday Night Football in Chicago, the Windy City. Week 5, Eagles, Jaguars, London. Week 7, Eagles and Cowboys. Monday Night Football, Week 7. How you doing? Week 8, Eagles and Commanders. Sunday Night Football, Week 8. Week 9, Eagles versus Gigantes. Week 12, Eagles, Cowboys, Thursday, Turkey Day. Are you ready to have yourself a big-ass bird? Eagles and the Steelers, Saturday, Week 15. Week 2, the Titans and the Philadelphia Eagles. Shit, by the time 7:30 comes tonight, you're going to have the whole damn schedule out. That Chicago game in week 3 is going to be a great one. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing if Washington can rebound in that week 1. And I'm waiting to see what this Eagle offense looks like. Let's see here. Sills, where's that Washington Redskins game to start the season? I think that game's in Philly. If I'm not mistaken, I think that game's in Philly. And they open that bad puppy up in Philly. There you go, James. Look at James barking already. 27-17. Washington Redskins. All right, we're going to have enough time to do that tomorrow when we take a look at the schedule. But I got a little nugget right out of the gate here on the program. Man, I have to go to, by the way, when I read this, will you promise not to cry? M. Reyes, will you promise not to cry? Or any Jalenite? You promise not to cry when I read this. Okay? By the way, I did not write this. This was today. Just a couple minutes. When did this come out? Let me see. How many minutes ago did this come out? Let's see what this did. How many minutes ago? Shit, this just came out. How you doing? You promise? No crying. All right. So let me go down here. This is on ESPN. And this is Jeremy Fowler who wrote this. Isn't this the same Jeremy Fowler that said the other day that everything was kumbaya between Sean Mannion and Jalen Hurts? The same Jeremy Fowler who went on TV and said those guys are getting along handsomely? Well, let me read you the latest from Jeremy Fowler. And this is quoting Jeremy Fowler. This is a critical year for the Eagles offense under Hurts. After their passing game ranked in the bottom third of the league in back-to-back seasons. Gee, sounds like a little plagiarism off of Big Sills. I continue. The offense will feature more play action and under center work, which Hurts has hesitated to embrace at times in the past, but has appeared very open to this offseason, according to sources, as open as he's ever been. Fowler puts in quotes. Hurts has been throwing off sight with multiple Eagle receivers, including his new number one, Devontae Smith. Hey, all you AJ guys, wrong, gone. Gone. And veteran Elijah Moore. Some NFL personnel evaluators still consider him a top 12 quarterback in the league. Not bad. Top 12. All of that won't dim the spotlight placed on him this season. And the spotlight on the team's next move if he struggles. Hurts, I could see, said an AFC executive when asked whether Philly could look to make a move this coming offseason if the offense struggles. Polarizing player and has his running ability starts to decline, his value will decline as well. And Eagle Howie Roseman will always be proactive in finding solutions. This came out just like an hour ago. Hurts has $22 million in 2027 guarantees. The team would take a $2.9 million cap hit if he's traded before June 1, but would save $21.4 million on the year's cap if he's dealt after June 1. The guarantees make it like a Kyler Murray situation where Philly would have to pay to facilitate a trade to another AFC team. The flip side, Hurts can force Philly's hand on a new contract if he thrives. His current deal runs through 2028. I think he's going to play well, said an NFC personnel evaluator. He's so many different coordinators over the last couple of years. Let's see how this goes. As I said, this is Jeremy Fowler who wrote this. I haven't even made an opinion on it yet. So Eagles plays the entire NFC East week 7 through 12. That stretch will be for the division. Yes, probably so. Sills, I took a couple weeks away. Please, my guy, we don't give a fuck about AJ, man. How y'all been? Hurt season, how you doing, brother? Dog, well, get ready. in about 16 days or 17 days, that shit gonna heat up a little more about AJ. Oh, by the way, Marsh, I love your guys in here. AJ Brown's lost a step. He's not the same fucking player, but you still expect a 1 and a 3 back, right? How's that work? Hey, the guy drops balls. He's lost a step. He's not the same player. Yet, you want a 1 and a 3 for him. Okay. So which is it? Does he suck? Or does he get a 1 and a 3 back for you? It's kind of wild, doesn't it? That article sounded like common sense. Nothing good or bad. You don't put out that an AFC executive and other executives in the NFL think Howie will move off of Hurts if he fails? Dude, if Joe Burrow and his offense doesn't do well this year, they're not moving Joe Burrow. I mean, every day it's a nugget. I mean, I don't see anything wrong or new, Sills, in that he said. Hurts either sinks or swims in this new offense. No breaking. Fowler seems bored. How about this? SS. My point is how these articles are all coming out. Fluff, not fluff. Fluff, not fluff. It's like a PR campaign. Seals, would you try to establish the run week 1 to see if Washington can stop? Yes, I would. Yes. Damn right. We want a 1 and a 3. If people want them that bad, make them pay. I see nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but my take is, you say this now. This guy's lost a step, drops passes, and he's old now. He's got a knee injury. And you think a 1 and a 3 for that? Guy who drops passes, he's lost his step, and he's not that good. Oh, okay. And a 1 and a 3. Damn. Damn, dude. I mean, end of the day here, I don't know. By the way, I never wrote that. That's Jeremy Fowler coming out. That's him coming out swinging. I see people saying that the next year's draft is stacked with quarterbacks. People were saying, I agree with you 100%, Ty. I see these guys coming out next year. I am not impressed. I'm just not. I'm not that impressed. Not at all. I'm with you. Silch, you need to improve your reading comprehension. He said the offense has been struggling for the last 2 years. So if he keeps struggling, the Eagles will consider moving on. Okay? Yes. That's what we've said, though. Prince, the offense has blown out loud the last 2 years. And the quarterback is the reason for it. And that's what that article, again, is accentuating. It's almost like they're setting something up. Bro, listen, Prince, you know what I think? I think they want that kid to be successful. I totally believe that. But if he's not, they're going to have no problem moving on from that guy. Moving on from a guy with that resume, they're not going to have a problem. Some legendary resume that you can move on like that from. You don't move on from people like that. Eagles already have like 7 primetime games confirmed before the full schedule's released. Seems like the NFL doesn't think the Eagles will suck this year. Yeah, they also thought the same thing about the Chiefs. A year ago, cover. How many games were the Chiefs on? The Chiefs weren't very good last year. They had them everywhere. He was just as helpful in the Eagles running game in the Super Bowl year. So saying the passing game sucks is not reliable. Excuse me. Passing game did suck. It was 29th. I love the way it hurts this training and Hart and OT team setting good example, keeping his head down, not listening to the noise. He's such an excellent coach's kid. That's not what was said. Not by me either. That was more by Tim McManus and Jeremy Fowler who said that. I never said that. Seals, did you see the Steelers are starting from scratch with Aller? That's not a very good sign for him. What do you mean they're starting from scratch? I'm assuming that Rodgers is going to play. Okay? I'm assuming, right? Let's see here. When you have an historic run game, that's going to skew passing. Not until you have to call on the passing game like you did last year. Dude, stop it. The passing game has not been good in 5 years. I don't want to go down that lane again. You have no metric where the passing game has been good in 5 years. 28th, 8th, 16th, 29th, and 23rd. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. And again, this is why they're changing the offense. It's because you've blown out loud as a passer. Oh, I know. It's all the coordinator. But it's all the guy. It's Kevin Patullo. Yeah, get this. Offensive coordinator sucked and the coach. The coach just hired another offensive coordinator. That's Kevin Patullo 2.0. But you think he's better. We'll see. Marcus and Jaden both got hurt and almost kept up with Hurts. When you're a quarterback in the league, that's not that hard keeping up with Hurts. Seals, if I'm close to Jalen Hurts, I would tell him winning is nice, but the league is a stat league, so stop sacrificing your stats for wins only. That's not a crazy take. That's not. Guys get paid on numbers, dude. They don't get paid on wins. Fans want the wins, and I get you guys. But players don't look at it like that. You have no control over winning and losing if you're a D tackle, wide receiver, an offensive guard, whatever. You got to play your best of your ability. And if you win games, you win games. If you don't win games, it's all about your production. Here's a great example. I keep bringing up Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett has no control whether or not they win games. Has zero. All he can do is go out and be the best player in the league. And he is. Myles Garrett's not paid on wins. Myles Garrett's played on being a great player. Plain and simple. It's not winning. As a matter of fact, there's nothing involved with Myles Garrett in winning in his contract whatsoever. All he has control over is showing up and playing. Same as every other player in the league. Okay? Not true. One more Super Bowl win, and Hurts is a lock for what you vow, Go Jackets. That's not what the Hall of Fame voters say on this show every time they come on. That's not what they say, and I don't vote. Myles said he would trade both his Defensive Player of the Year for a Super Bowl. Not everyone has that mindset. He can't control that, though. Get this. Myles said he would trade both of his Defensive Player of the Year for a Super Bowl. Not everyone has that mindset. Really? Well, Myles is sitting in Cleveland, and he decided to take the money. He could have fucking left, but he didn't. Took the money, and he stayed in Cleveland. That was his choice to sign that extension. He's the one that decided to sign it. He's the one that decided to stay. Not everyone has that mindset. That's a bullshit comment from Myles Garrett. Because Myles Garrett had every chance to leave. He held out. He didn't want to sign. They gave him the money. He signed and he stayed. So that's a bullshit take. Hey, Sills, is it possible they are switching to an all-passing regime just to present a false reality because everything is predicted on the defense and on the offensive line staying healthy and Barkley? I don't think but no, because you're not going to draft a guy in the first round just to put a charade on. I'm a fan of Jalen Hurts, but he needs to improve in the passing game. Trust me. I know. I use Jalen Hurts in Madden. And that motherfucker's inconsistent as hell when it comes to passing. If individual stats is all a player cares about, then they shouldn't they should venture into boxing careers. I don't know why you guys don't see this. I'll tell you what. I'll get away from the quarterbacks. Let me just take a look at the top paid edge rushers. And then let me just pick that. Top paid NFL edge rushers. 2026. I won't even use the quarterbacks like that I always do. Okay. So here's the top paid edge rushers. And let's see here. Okay. Will Anderson, $50 million. Been to a Super Bowl? No. Micah Parsons, 46. Been to a Super Bowl? No. Aiden Hutchinson, been to a Super Bowl? $45 million. No. TJ Watt, $41 million. Been to a Super Bowl? No. Danielle Hunter, been to a Super Bowl? He's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's fifth at 41. No. Myles Garrett is next at 40. No. Max Crosby? No. Nick Bosa's been to a Super Bowl. Is he the 10th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 8th. Jonathan Grenard at 30. He's 9. Never been to a Super Bowl. Jalen Phillips, 10th. He's 30. Never been to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, Jags, 28-9. Never been to a Super Bowl. Brian Burns, 12th. 28.2. Never been to a Super Bowl. You think those guys give a shit about whether or not they're winning or whether or not they're producing? Not one of those guys have been to a Super Bowl in the top 20, except for Nick Bosa. The fuck you talking about? I hate hearing how good next year's draft will be. Arch Manning is on pace to make around $50 million in Texas if he stays for another season. Nil change the game. Completely true. There's not a single person who thought this past game was good enough to win a Super Bowl in 24. It wasn't. It took a Washington team who shouldn't have been there, and KC not crossing the 50 till the fourth quarter to do it. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. But that's what made the Eagles successful. Remember, they let top talent walk out the door and soon to be AJ. So why wouldn't it possibly be a charade? I don't understand what you're saying there, but that's what made the Eagles successful. Remember that the top tier talent walked out the door and soon to be AJ. So why wouldn't it be possible charade? I know. Oh no. Okay. Going back to your other one. No, they're not, dude, you drafted a guy, 2 guys, you traded for a guy, and you hired a coordinator. That has nothing to do with what you've done in the past. There will be 5 highly regarded quarterbacks who have shit years and not going anywhere in the first round. Predicting a quarterback draft in May never plays out how people think it will. I agree. I don't see anybody that I'm really in love with next year. I mean, like, I don't see a generational guy in college football. Where? Arch? Maybe. But there's nobody in that draft. Okay? And remember something, folks. Money's the only thing you have control over if you're a player. You don't have control over winning. You have zero control. You're hoping you're in a good organization. If not, you're subject to being Joe Burrow. You're in a bad organization. You can't do anything about winning. Nothing. It's where you're drafted. Think about it, Sills. Dak has been in the league way longer than Jalen. No playoff success, but regular season stats make people respect him way more than Hurts. Correct. Dak Prescott's got more respect than Jalen Hurts as a passer, by far. Sills, what about his playoffs failures? I know. What about his performances against the Eagles? I know. What about the $60 million he's making? I know. Nobody on the planet would ever think that Jalen Hurts is a better passer than Dak Prescott. That's just not happening. There's nowhere, anywhere where that's evident. But Jalen's better in clutch time. Yes. All these things can be true. It's not a blanket conversation. Hurts was the most searched player in 25. I think media is trying to milk all it's worth for all the narratives. Well, absolutely. He creates great narratives. He's not a traditional player. And he's in a great organization. He's always been in a great organization his entire career. Jalen Hurts has faced no adversity being on a shitty team in his entire career. That's awesome. Think about it, too, with Brady. Brady was at Michigan, a hell of a program, and he was with Belichick in New England. There's no coincidence he was in a great organization in both places. Now, I think Michigan didn't know what they were doing with him because they were constantly trying to replace Brady. Lloyd Carr was a buffoon, and that's why he never won there really anything. He did split a national title. He did. But, I mean, they didn't even know what they were doing with Tom Brady there. They had quarterback battles. It matters where you get drafted. Go to a good place, your chances of winning are 10 times more than if you go to the Jets. You understand that, right? If you get drafted to the Jets, the chances of your success in the NFL is zero. Or if you get drafted to the old Bucks, the chances of you having success is zero. How can you have success when the organization has not seen any success? Totally matters. Didn't Dak lose to Bryce Young? I think also Bryce Young beat Jordan Love last year. I think Carolina went up to Green Bay, or what's that? Did Carolina go up to Green Bay and beat the doorknobs off them too? I thought he went up there and they beat the doorknobs off them, if I'm not mistaken. Get this. Dak has had 4 OCs in his career. Hurts is on his 4th in 4 less years. Dude, so what? That doesn't mean he's a more skilled player. Jesus criminy. I'm not going to even take conversation on this. Seals, it's the fact that the Eagle fan base is so passionate. Yeah. And they move in flocks. This is great for the media outlets because We drive traffic for anything about us. The NFL is starting to see it. Oh, it's a great fan base. I told you, Prince, since day one, it's one of the best fan bases I've ever had a conversation to talk sports in my 37 years doing this. Yeah, absolutely. Because again, when you talk in truths have nothing to do with being a fanatical fan. Fanatical fans don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear they want to have their truth. Like they'll come up with this other stuff to make a narrative fit. Hey, Sills, with your feelings on Hurts and a new OC, how good can they become? How good can they become better than last year and can possibly improve? Or is it other teams' defenses? It's a good question. I think the new OC and here, Daff, I'll tell you this. Every time you bring up another team is losing a coordinator, you hear everybody over here go like this. They're going to take a step back. I don't know how you don't think you're going to take a step back before you take a step forward. No idea. And it's going to take some time for everybody to get antiquated with this offense. You don't play preseason football. You have the organized team practices. There's no other way until you get into the games in September to see how it's going to work. New first-time play caller, Jalen in a new type of passing motion scheme, all of that. Nobody knows. And I'm with you. I got it. That's the unknowns, though. You have so many unknowns going into this year. Well, how about this question? Will this talent be able to overcome all of the unknowns? In the past, think about that, Zander. Everyone. In the past, the unknowns were always able to be kind of minimal because the talent level on the team was so high. Will you be able to overcome with this group all the unknowns? By the way, this roster here is not as talented as the 24 and 22 team. It's older. There's more question marks. 22, you had an experienced coordinator on both sides. Gannon was in the room, and then so was Shane Steichen. In 24, you had a new coordinator, but he was an experienced coordinator. Okay? What does that have to do with the player and how he's perceived today? It's why he's the highest paid guy. Dak never had the coaching or the roster. Cowboys may have had good rosters, but lacked the coaching in the past. Correct. The coaching in Dallas for 35 years outside of Parcells has been average to below average. Dak's had some pretty good rosters, though. I wouldn't say good rosters. All right? I wouldn't say good rosters. I'd say pretty good ones, some of them. Patriots would be lucky to make anything. Well, let's see, because you still have the Dolphins and the Jets in that AFC East. And if you play your cards right, that's 4 wins. 90-man still on an NFL 50-man roster. Well, 90 plus the practice, it's actually 57, 53 active. And then you get the additional 19 to get you to almost 9. Well, 90 is going into camp. I got you. Yeah, 90s going into camp. But think about it, James. The majority of those 90, they make it because they go to practice squad. Problem is, Sills, when Dak had good rosters, the defense never showed up, especially the run defense. All the way back to Mike Nolan, that's a fact. Sills, I guarantee half the teams that picked in the top 10 are going to be there next year. They're the worst run organizations. That's why they're picking there all the time. Here, it's a great take. Okay? Watch this, Kyle. Watch this. How many times has the Cleveland Browns picked in the top 10 in the last 20 years in the NFL draft? Eight times. In the last 10 years, the Cleveland Browns have taken a first-round pick 8 times in the last 10 years in the first 10 picks. You think they're ever going to get better? You would think eventually. And by the way, remember, if you're picking in the top 10 in the NFL draft, you're picking in the top 10 in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, seventh round. So you've got the premium picks in every draft if you're the Browns the last 10 years. And you still can't do shit with them. Some organizations will never get it right because they don't know what they're doing. Sills, if the O-line is healthy and the talent should be able to overcome, that's where it starts with us. An unhealthy line isn't going to develop anything for this offense. That's correct. Dude, this all comes down to your depth. And by the way, we're going to hit on that here in a minute. Your depth and on both sides. As a matter of fact, I'll go there now. I don't really think you're deep on your O-line or in your D-line. I don't think you're deep. And this is where you really have been great the last few years. I think since Nick's time here, this will be the least depth-talented roster you have. You still got good frontline guys, but you don't have the depth that you once had. That's the price of success, though, too. And your famous line that you always give me, you can't pay everybody. Well, if you think about it, if Josh Sweat and Milton Williams are here, Moro Jomo is still your backup defensive end. That's what it was like years ago when you didn't have free agency. Okay, see this guy here? D-line? Yeah, you think you're deep on D-line. Here, folks, this guy thinks he's deep on D-line with the Eagles. I'm sorry. I'll read your D-line depth. Here's your backup D-line depth. He thinks you're deep at it. Okay. Brian Young, Ty Robinson, and Gabe Hall. Defensive ends, and I'm going with 34. Carter, Davis, and Moro Jomo. Here are your backups. Brian Young, Ty Robinson, and Gabe Hall. Those are your backups. You can figure out whatever you think that is when it comes to being deep. Why? That's what won you the Super Bowl in 24 was your depth. Yeah, you tell me your big guys up front, you're deep. Who? Ty Robinson? This guy hasn't even shown he can play in the league yet. Brian Young? Not awful. Gabe Hall. That's your backups right now. And here's your backups in O-line. Holland Pierce, Drew Kendall, Micah Morris, a rookie and Markel Bell, Miles Hinton, Willie Lampkin. None of those guys played last year. That's not depth. Didn't you say we had no linebackers when we had Bond and Dean? How about this? You tell me if you think you're deep. If you think you're deep, have at it. Thanksgiving's going to be fun. What the Eagles' record in Dallas last 8 games? 1-7. The only win versus Cooper Rush. Elite. See here. When talking heads cry about depth, that usually means you're a contender. I've never heard that before. Like, I've never heard that. Our D-line is very deep, okay? This is what he says their D-line is. Brian Young, Ty Robinson, and Gabe Hall. If you think that's deep, that's fine. That's your opinion. Ty Robinson couldn't see the field last year. Gabe Hall was cut, I think, once or twice. And Brian Young was okay. If you think that's deep, have at it. We are deep with young O-linemen. All we need is for 2 to hit, Sills. I'm sure Chris Cooper will pull that out of him. %70 of the NFL doesn't even have a proper number 1 DT. What are you talking about? What did I just say? I just said, if you don't have Jalen Carter playing well again, and there's nobody to spell him, and he happens to miss games, you don't have anybody to replace him. You don't even have anybody capable of playing decent ball as of right now. Who? Brian Young? Not a bad ball player. That's quite a drop-off. Right? See here. So according to this guy, you need No. You don't need any Pro Bowlers. Okay? You had 1 Pro Bowler when you won a Super Bowl. You need competent players. Oren Burks. Isaiah Rodgers. Guys like that to come in and help you play ball. No. Not saying that at all. Get this. Don't be mad because I read you the names. If Jalen Carter doesn't come back to form, I know many of you think he is. Here's your starting guys. Very good. Carter, Davis, Ajomo. Well, your backups to those guys are Ty Robinson, Brian Young, and Gabe Hall. Don't get mad at me for who you have. Okay. Well, if you can't understand what we're saying, sorry, dude. Didn't mean for you to get lost. When you have really good starters, it's hard to have a lot of depth. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Let's go back here. When you're really good. Well, who says you're really good? Let's see here. 2024. Let me go to the 2024 roster here. So let's go over here. 2024 Eagles depth chart. Let's take a look at that. Here you go. So here's your defense. Here was your defense in 24. Your interior guys. You had Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, and Milton Williams. Your interior guys were Moro Ojomo and Thomas Booker. Those were your backups. You think you're better today? Or were you better then? What do you think? You think you're better today than you were then? You had Thomas Booker and Moro Ojomo in 2024 as your backups. Now you have Ty Robinson and you have someone else. This offensive line is closer to needing a rebuild than people realize. A lot is only one that is a sure thing for a foreseeable future. Jurgens, Dickerson are huge question marks. Mark's health wise and Lane old. Yes. Yeah, I mean, here, look. Your roster today. Here's your depth at interior D line. Brian Young and Ty Robinson. In 2024, when he won a Super Bowl, your backups were Thomas Booker and Moro Ojomo. And you're going to try to tell me you think you're better today? Based on what? Ty Robinson hasn't even stepped on the field yet. I mean, right? Let's see here. Let's see. In 2024, you had 6 Pro Bowlers on defense? You didn't have 6 Pro Bowlers on defense. You had 1. You had 1 All-Pro guy on defense. 1 All-Pro, and it was Bond. Carter was a Pro Bowler, and yeah, I don't remember any other All-Pros. You had 1 All-Pro. The fuck you talking? Hey, guy, leave the research to me. Be all right. Brendan, I saw a thing that showed every Eagle opening TD from 2021 to 2025. Got me thinking, who gets the opening TD for us in 26? Ajomo is a starter, Sills. He wasn't in 24. He was your depth. You're missing the point. You were better at front line and back in 24. You were able to sustain injuries. Dude, Ojomo was our third. Correct. You're missing the point. That was your fucking depth piece. What do you think I'm talking about here? In 2024, Thomas Booker and Moro Ojomo were your backup players. Today, Ojomo's a starter, and your backups today are Ty Robinson and who is it? Ty Robinson and Brian Young. You're not as deep. What's hard to follow in on that? Moro Ojomo was a depth piece in 24. How come you can't follow this? I mean, how come you can't follow this? Let's see here. I'm excited for Jalix on the outside. I think he takes another step up this year on the edge. Ty, I'll tell you what. He's been one of the biggest surprises in the entire 5 years that I've been watching your football team. Jalix Hunt has been the biggest surprise of anybody that Howie Roseman has drafted. Okay? Dude, thank you very much. It's great. Diehard fan of yours, Sills. Sills Army veteran. How you doing, brother? An Eagle fan from AZ got a great question. Can you name us the teams that do have depth? Okay? Good question. I like that. Let's take a look at the Rams. And they play pretty much the same kind. I like this kid, Ty Davis and Ty Hamilton they have. That kid Murchison is not a bad ball player. They're pretty deep. They can also go back one more to this kid Paxton that they have. Not terrible. Pretty good looking backup. And by the way, those guys all played. Let's see what he did last year. Let's see what Davis did. So Davis last season had 43 tackles as a backup player from the interior. That's a backup. Had 43 tackles. See what Hamilton did. Hamilton came in at spot because Davis did most of it. And yeah, for a backup, Tyler Davis had 43 tackles. That's a pretty good swing inside tackle for them. Let's go to another one. Let's go to the who was another good football team? Let's go to Seattle. Take a look at Seattle here and where they are. They pretty much run the same front too. Leonard Williams, Jaron Reed, and Brian Murphy, that kid they got from Texas. Riley Mills. He's kind of a new guy. And let's see here. One more. Now, Seattle's kind of thin in the defensive line position. That's also probably why they went out and got Dante Fowler to back up DeMarcus Lawrence. I would say Seattle's a little bit light in the britches when it comes to their interior. So let's take a look at, let's go to another team here. Let's go to Bear. Bears suck. Let's go to, let's take a look at New England. Same front. Barrymore, Burden, and Milton Williams. So Joshua Farmer, not bad, 25 tackles a year ago at depth. Eric Gregory didn't really see a lot of playing time. And they're all new backups, actually, in the secondary or in the defensive line position. Let's go to Texans. Actually, it's Baltimore. Let's go to the Texans. Let's take a look at them. Will Anderson's your end. Whew, wow. They play a 43. So they're back up. Dylan Horton, not bad, 30 tackles a year ago. That's good depth. Logan Hall. Let's see here. Logan Hall had 40 tackles, 2.5 sacks. They got great depth. And Logan Hall played with the Bucks a year ago. Caden McDonald, that's the kid that's new from Ohio State. So we got to wait and see how he plays. And Dominic Robinson at 25 tackles. They got great depth in Houston. Houston's got a great defense. That's why. Let's take a look at San Francisco. And they're getting Bosa back. So here's their depth. Sam Olakowinoa, the defensive tackle, he had 50 tackles. Halton is a new player from Oklahoma. Evan Anderson is also a new one. And so they got one kid with 45 tackles as their backup. They got great production a year ago. Plus, they're moving CJ West into a starting job. So, Jared Verse is overrated. Broncos, that's a great one. Let's go to there. Let's go to the Broncos with depth. Broncos are a strong team, man. Let's take a look at their backup. Got a rookie there. They drafted a rookie in the second round. They got a backup with 40 tackles and 4.5 sacks. 6'6", 320 pounds. Iama Uwazurika. He had 40 tackles and 4.5 sacks a year ago. They got two rookies that are going to be backups Oh, and he got one more. Jonathan Ellis had 30 tackles. They do have good depth. Anytime you bring experience like that, absolutely. Broncos, Texans, Rams, Bills, Eagles in no order. Maybe throw in Dallas in there. Dallas got to pay off, dude. Broncos just had the Knicks question. I don't think there's any question on Knicks. I think they held back on telling folks on his injury. Okay, maybe on the injury. He's won a lot of football games up there, and I've been surprised. You know, he was an older guy when he came out too, like 25 years old. So yeah, the ankle. I got it. Yes, I agree with you on that. Seals, can we get players that could be cap casualties? Here, I had a list here. Let me put that out there. I put a lot of shit on a spreadsheet here. Okay. So here's the players that could be casualties. Hey, I would say this. Even though some of these players got traded and signed in free agency, keep an eye on some guys. So I would say this. If you're the 49ers, I think you're cutting Brandon Ayuk post June 1. I think they're cutting Ayuk and saving some dough on getting rid of him. I bet you they cut him. I bet you they cut him. I bet you they cut Bryce Huff. The Bears. Cole Kmet. They may cut him. Listen, 7.5. DeAndre Swift could be a cap casualty. I think he's secure, but the Bears have to clear room for other moves if they're going to move. So what I would do is I would keep an eye on maybe they'll restructure DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift had a really good year. He's a good football player. I know the Bears have 50 tight ends, don't they? I'm just looking at teams here. Bears need to create some cap room in 26. You know, I think they're going to have to try to restructure some deals here. And they're going to have to try to restructure, in my opinion, DeAndre Swift's deal. How that works out, I don't know. The Bengals. Dude, hey, if Oren Burks is a June 1 cap casualty, would you bring him back? You're pretty deep. You're very deep at linebacker. Would you bring back Oren Burks? Vic loved the guy. I love the guy. I thought he was a hell of a player for you. And boy, I'll tell you what, that dude, when Kobe got hurt, there was a seamless transition. I mean, he could be a cap casualty guy, and he played great in the playoffs for you. He was great. I'm doing this off the top of my head. Hey, I'll tell you what. The Bengals may lose Karras, their center. They may lose him. Would you go get Ted Karras and bring him in? Because again, they got to create some room there. He might be a cap casualty. He's a $4 million guy. That'd be somebody to think about. Let me look at another team here. The Bills. Dawson Knox, I think, is going to get whacked in Buffalo. Would you bring another tight end in? I kind of like that player. And again, these are depth pieces. This is not frontline guys. He's going to make $10 million this coming year. That guy's going to make $10 million. So he's going to get whacked. Denver. Drake Greenlaw may get hit. Ben Powers at guard. He may get shot. Matt Perrette, he may get hit. He's not really a frontline guy, though, but he could create some depth for you. Drake Greenlaw, I think, is going to get hit with that $6 million deal. He's a good player, man. Okay, I do. I like him a lot. These are potential June 1 guys. Arizona. Could James Conner get whacked? Maybe. Sean Murphy Bunting. He's going to make $7.3 million. He could get hit. Plus, he played in Gannon's system. The Chargers. I think Dante. I think Dante Jackson's going to get cut, and maybe that kid, that outside linebacker Dupree they have there, he may get hit. But again, these are depth guys. That Jackson kid's a pretty good ball player. He played pretty good for them last year. I like him, man. He's a good player. These are potential June 1 cap casualties. I'm just going down the list of teams here. Who could get knocked off on the Chiefs? That kid Fulton, that corner they got. He could get whacked. He could get hit. That Tristan Fulton kid, I think he's making like $7-8 million. I mean, they restructured Mahomes' deal. 2/3 of a $60 million salary cap. Dug them out of it. He restructured his contract. So probably him. I don't really see anybody else in Kansas City that would get whacked. Somebody's going to grab Greenlaw. Again, health has got to, obviously, is the number one priority with him. Let me go down to another team here. This Colts team, there is no way Michael Pittman, unless they restructure his deal, there's no way they're taking on that $24 million. No way. I mean, they just drafted Pierce for a reason. And, I mean, Pierce has been a better player. Or the kid Pierce they had, Pierce who ate up all the space and has been a better ball player than Michael Pittman the last couple of years. $24 million in savings for a player that has a top. This guy hasn't had 1,000 yards in 2 seasons. How are you going to keep that $24 million? Right? You're not going to keep that $24 million. This guy hasn't had 1,000 yards in 2 years. That's right. Pittman went to the Steelers. My bad. That's right. Thank you, dude. Thank you, brother. Forgot. Pittman went to the Steelers. Yeah, I'm looking at teams. Washington. Let's see. Hey, James Jones. James Jones, are you here? What's that safety you guys have? What's that safety? What was his name? Will Harris? Will Harris? Let's see here. Will Harris. Let's see here. Who else? I'm trying to remember. I know some guys have moved. But that guy Will Harris is a safety. Cowboys. I don't know what they're going to do with Terrence Steele's number. Do they restructure that? Let's see here. Dolphins. I'm not even going to. Hey, could they cut Michael Carter? Could they cut Michael Carter? $9 million almost this coming season. We double check that money. Is Michael Carter II expected to make like $9 million this coming season? You see them cutting him? Right? I mean, $9 million. Cut him, you bring him back. If he clears waivers. They restructured? Okay. That's right. That's right, Rasputin. They restructured that contract. That's right. That's right. They restructured it. They adjusted it. You guys are right. That's right. I've forgotten. I'm looking for a safety that could potentially be out there. The Jets. I don't know what the Jets have. I don't know what the Lions have. Packers. Not sure what they have. Ashawn Robinson, they moved him to the Bucks because he had $11.5 million deal, so they moved him to Tampa Bay. Hunter Henry in New England could get a hit. I'm looking for a safety. There's really not a lot of safeties. I don't know, if they've restructured Marlon Humphrey or what they've done with him. I wonder what they're going to do with Alvin Kamara in New Orleans. Has anybody heard what they're going to do with Alvin Kamara? Alvin Kamara in that new offense here in Philly would be fucking great. Kamara and Barkley, if that dude is a June 1 hit, and he's a June 1, if he's a June 1 hit and he gets whacked, let me see here. $360K and then $8.5 million post June 1. The Saints did a weird contract restructure with Kamara that I'll admit I don't fully understand. it seems to have left the door open for them to move on at some point this year. Kamara was 31 years of age, and as a potential cut come June 1, he'll be 31 this coming season, and he's due 11.5 million in cash, coming off easily his worst year as a professional. He got hurt after the 11th game. Cap savings are minimal. Kamara has $3 million of his salary guaranteed, but that still leaves $8.5 million in cash savings if the Saints want to go in a different direction. I would take him as a backup. I would take that guy. Yeah, I'm happy as fuck. You got youth and feel great. Kamara would be fantastic pickup. But doesn't that mean we need to start throwing screens? Well, that's what you're going to start doing. By the way, I like this. Mark Farzetta will join us. That'll be at 4:30. Big Z's going to join us at 3:30 here. Who is going to get Kamara the ball? Hurts can't throw screen passes. Fowler's now lying, right? Jeremy Fowler. That the Eagles can move on from Jalen Hurts after this year. So he's lying now. So when he tries to go back into the Eagle room to try to do interviews, you got a guy that's lying about the team, and they're going to allow that. That's not exactly how that works, guy. Okay. If we sign Kamara, do you think we trade Tank? No. I think you have a three-headed monster, and I'd be good with that. Seahawks. They got a DT there named Reed. I don't know. I don't. Now, is Jalen Ramsey still in Pittsburgh? Is Jalen Ramsey still in Pittsburgh? I think he's due $20 million. Okay. Patrick Queen. Steelers got some decisions to make here. They really do. They got a new. I wonder what McCarthy's going to do with some of these guys here. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's got $20 million owed, and Patrick Queen's got $14.3 owed. Mario Edwards, that guy never lived up to where he was drafted. I think he was like top 3 or something. This is the Texans. Tennessee. Calvin Ridley. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard could be a hit. Vikings. That tight end may get whacked. That Hawkinson kid. He signed a pretty big deal. So there's going to be some players out there. Shipley's not even going to be used. I think Shipley he's a special teams guy. He's not really a frontline NFL guy. I want to keep Tank, but I don't think got nearly enough touches last year. So unless we split snaps more, I don't know how we run a 3 personnel room. Maybe he wants more money too. Hey, by the way, how about this, Kyle? Cam Jordan, just to show you again, down there, that kid in New Orleans. So check this out. Cam Jordan. Would you guys have interest in a 36-year-old defensive end? Because that could be, Kyle. He could be, Ken. Okay? Would you be interested in Cam Jordan at 36? $36 old. He would be. You know how many sacks he had a year ago? He had 10 and a half. This guy's got 132 sacks in his career. He's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-time Pro Bowler. He was up for the Defensive Player of the Year once. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler. He's got a Super Bowl ring, I believe. And he's got 132 sacks. He's a Hall of Famer. No, he wasn't on that championship team for the Saints. I don't believe. I think he went to Cal. But I don't think he was on that. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler with 132 sacks. Whew. Man, that is fucking picking him up and putting him down. Cam Jordan tweeting like he's a Saint superfan during the draft. Does he want to play anywhere but there? I'd love him for a cheap year veteran contract. Got to remember something, too. A guy like Cam Jordan, he's not going anywhere other than a place like Philly or the Rams or Seattle or Green Bay or New York. Nah, I doubt New York. This guy's not looking to go sit there and talk to young players. He wants to go in, do his job, and hope it's enough to help you win a Super Bowl. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for a Super Bowl. Because he got there probably right before they won that thing. And he got drafted right after that when they won that Super Bowl. He would help our depth complete. Oh, my God. You put Cam Jordan on that Eagle D-line, you transform overnight into being like one of the better units in the entire league. You're already pretty good. But again, remember, they don't really care about playing the run that much in Philly. You were 16th a year ago. You were 22nd in the run, I think. What were you in the run game last year? I don't think you were very good in the run game. Pass defense, you were great. Yeah, you were 22nd against the run. You were bottom 10 in rushing defense. I think that number's got to improve too. By the way, I think your offense will help that number by getting the fuck off the field or staying on the field instead of them 3 and outs. You were 22nd in run defense. But I think that a lot of that had to do with your offense. 3 and out, 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 3 and out. You were the second worst defense, or you were the second worst offense in 3 and outs. Second worst. And so, again, it's all good. You think the Eagles cut any of their draftees? Absolutely not. When is the last time you ever seen Howie Roseman cut a draft pick? That center kid, he got put on the practice squad, I think his rookie year. That Dillon kid. And then the Rams picked him up. Very rarely does he cut. Me too. Good chance at some strippers too. Sills, does the team have to be under the cap at the time during the year or just certain times? June 1, you've got to have your cap and your 90-man roster intact. And that's who you're going to camp with. Your roster has to be set by June 1. All cap issues and everything have to be taken care of June 1. That's why you have cap casualties and guys getting cut before June 1. Like these next couple weeks, you're going to see restructuring and you're going to see, like, in 17 days, dude, you got to see maybe restructuring. This is why here, I would assume that Jalen Carter's contract would be done now, somewhere in here, because you got to have your cap set by June 1. Now, maybe what that does also is once you're past June 1, the money gets carried over towards the next following season. So maybe they do it after and towards training camp. Because again, I mean, Jalen Carter's extension, where is it? How are they going to move this Jalen Carter extension around? Sills, this kid, Bernard, with Clint Hurt, he's going to be insane. Can you take a kid who's a skilled and a gifted athlete and make him a football player? Here's what I would do, Kim. If that were me, I would try to stick closer to his athleticism and create a position for him. Go hit the guy. And I would give him some techniques in what he has to do to be able to rush the passer. Does anybody know where they're going to play him yet? And where are they going to play him interior, or are they going to play him on the perimeter? Yeah, but one thing about Mulata played a sport that football had the foundations of with rugby. So that tradition was there. I mean, a lot of things rugby has, really the only thing rugby has or the NFL has that rugby doesn't have, they don't throw a forward pass. Playing him on the interior. Can a guy who's never played that position and never really played football learn enough? You don't even know how to get into a stance yet. I'm sure he's been working on that prior to getting drafted. So he's probably like high school. He's probably at a high school knowledge right now. And now since he's been in Philly, remember, he didn't go to college. So he had no formidable years of being able to develop that talent. I mean, he doesn't even know how to get out of a stance. Now, I'm sure he's worked on this, but he's probably at like a junior college level right now. That doesn't mean he stinks. Okay? I mean, that doesn't mean he's like bad. His knowledge of the game is limited. I love that we drafted him. Those are lottery ticket picks anyway. Let's go for an athlete with massive potential. Not a problem with that. Hey, at that pick, when you're down there at 6 and 7, dude, Tom Brady's down there. You found Tom Brady. You found Jason Kelsey in the 6th round. I don't have a problem with anybody's ideology and mentality at round 6 and 7. If you want to draft a hoop player, like a Jimmy Graham or somebody like that down there, all good. I would draft as many tight ends like in college basketball, guys. I wouldn't have a problem doing that. Sills, would you take TJ Watt if was available? For how much? 25? Yeah. I think you're pretty good with what you have. I think Watt would be a liability. No, I'll take that back. No, he wouldn't. But I'm not in any way going to pay any money for that. No way. No way. Clint Hurts said that he was going to make him a priority to develop. It could just be lip service, but he seemed serious. You could take that to the bank. And I've talked to him about this. How, about developing a raw kid that's never played. See, to me, I would get as much game film as I could on Aaron Donald. Fletcher Cox. Dexter Lawrence. I'd get guys like that. I'd sit them in a room and I'd tell them, watch the technique. Okay? Watch the technique that you see with these guys. That would be that to me is how you would develop them. Sills, I have a question circling back to the depth point. What's your thoughts on Brandon Graham being the DT4 edges 5? I don't think that's a bad position for him. Again, no. I mean, eventually, get this. The tread in the tires when you've been playing so long, some guys it comes off faster than others. I didn't think Brandon was that bad last year. I don't have a problem with him. And by the way, does anybody know what the latest is on that? Is he coming back? Or is he out? Is he part of the 90-man right now? Is Brandon Graham on the roster? Does anybody know? Like, is he on the roster? I haven't heard shit. So I'm assuming that Brandon's not coming back this year, correct? All right. So you think the Rams have replaced AD with Verse? No. Aaron Donald is not replaceable. However, I do think that maybe as a unit, they're better than when he was there. You understand what I mean? That kid they also got, that Fisk kid and Verse, the kid they got from Seattle a year ago, to stop the run, Ford. I think as a unit, they're better. Like, the Cowboys are better as a unit up front. Parsons was a better player, obviously, but yeah. All right. It is schedule time. Woo-wee! We got one right out of the gate. Zander Krause's favorite beat-up team. The Washington fucking shitbags in his eye. The Washington Commanders. And Jaden Daniels. Right out of the gate. He says the Commanders blow dog. All right? Well, we about to find out week 1 without further ado. The ultimate Commander hater, Big Z. Zander Krause joins us right now. Bro.
What up, Sills? How you doing, brother? I'm not a Commander hater. I'm not a hater of anybody. I just think they got too old, too quick, and they're not that good. And Jaden Daniels is good, but he's got a shit organization around him, and they'll probably hurt his career because it's hard for a quarterback to overcome a trash organization.
You're indicting the organization for Daniel Snyder's error. He's only owned the team for
No,
2 years.
no.
He's owned the team for 2 years.
3 years. This will be third
3
season.
years. Okay, 3 years, and he's had one NFC championship appearance in that 3 years.
I got okay. It was pretty good. I don't like what they've done with their roster. What
Okay.
so because they went to the NFC Championship a couple years ago, now I have to sit here and not analyze them honestly as a football team.
No,
they got 30 years old everywhere. I said last year they were going to
It's a
stink.
fucking improvement from the last 30 years.
And what does that have to do with me? I give a fuck about beating them in 26.
Because you called them a shitty organization. They've only had 34 games as ownership.
They're a shitty organization. Okay. Yes. Like you said, it doesn't take 1 year to turn them around.
I do? All right.
You said it. Daniel Snyder's gonna impact that team for the next 5 years. Still.
Oh, I don't think that you could just sit there and go like this. You think the Browns would be a turnaround in 2 years, in 1 year?
No, they've been trying to turn that thing around for a decade.
They've had 41 quarterbacks in 32 years since they've got.
Dude, I like Jaden Daniels, but when you put a bunch of stiffs around him, it's not going to work out well.
There you go. Week 1.
Actually, a better spot for the Commanders to be early in the year for them.
You bet.
Yeah.
Because if that kid's paper mache like it may turn out to be, and he's RG3 2.0, you want that guy early.
And bad teams don't know they're bad early in the year, you know.
That's right. There's too much optimism in the room. So you got that one. Week 2, you got Titans, right?
Is that what it is? Is that confirmed?
It's what's been leaked out. Titans.
No, I didn't see that one, but maybe.
Titans week 2. Okay. Week 3, Eagles and Bears in Chicago.
I like that one.
Monday Night Football. How you like that?
I like that. I mean, it's better to go to Chicago in September than it is December or November, right? So,
yes.
You know, yeah, I like that one. I think that's actually a good spot. I think the Bears are coming back to earth this year. I rode them hard last year. I thought they were a good. No, Diddy. I liked that team last year. I don't think they're going to be. It's going to be hard for them to maintain that, especially in that division.
Week 5, as we know right now, Eagles in London. Hurts calling London. There it is. Jaguars. Jalen could take the Jordan brand to London and walk around there, and he could go to like all the fancy places there, like Harrods and all them places, and hang out there.
Are you jealous of Jalen?
His Gucci bags and
all that. Are you jealous of Hurts? Like,
no. He's a great fashion guy showing up at the Met the way he does. I'm sure that place will fit him right well.
Well, what's the problem with him wearing his Jordan gear? Every athlete I've ever seen has a brand.
Don't get no sensitive here on me, man. It's all good. Week 7, Eagles, Cowboys, Monday Night Football. How you doing, baby? Woo! Week 8, Eagles, Commanders, Sunday Night Football. You're right. Jaden Daniels is a bum, and he's getting a Sunday night game. How you doing?
Do you listen? Do those fucking ears on your head work?
So sensitive, man. Week 9.
Do they work? Answer the question. Do they work?
I don't care. Eagles and Giants, week 9. How you doing?
That's light.
Week 12. Eagles, Cowboys, Turkey Day. How you doing, baby?
That's a good one. That's not a great spot for the Birds. I got to be honest.
Holy shit.
Well, the Birds struggle in Dallas, dude. They've struggled in Dallas for a long time.
So I got to do that freaking London game, 5 a.m, and I got my Turkey Day all fucked up already. Holy shit. All right. Let's see here.
Wait, why?
Why? I like to enjoy my turducken and have a good Turkey Day, you know?
Well, no. So the Eagles are going to be on for.
Yeah, they'll be on early.
No, not early for you.
Late?
Well, they're 4:30.
Oh, okay.
No, you conflated it with the London game.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. It's not 5 a.m.
And then week 15 on a Saturday, the Battle of PA. Eagles and Steelers.
That's a win. That's a W.
That's a W, huh?
That's a W.
Mike Francesa right there, Junior. How you doing? That's
That's
a
a
big old W.
By the way, shout out to Terrence in the chat who just reminded me that, yes, I can confidently tell you that the Commanders are a trash can organization because Josh Harris is a trash can owner for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's a trash can owner for the New Jersey Devils. And something tells me he's going to be a trash can owner for the Washington Communists. All right. So they're a trash team. Sorry for Jaden Daniels, who's a great football player who has to get drafted to that shithole.
Man, am I pulling for the Commanders this year to win 11? How you doing, man? I will be rooting for the Commanders every week to win 11 games. That's what I'll be rooting for them.
All righty. You sound like Tommy T. Look at Tommy T in the chat. HTTC. Hail to the Commanders. Imagine saying that about your team. Oh, man. What would you rather say, fans? Fly, Eagles, fly? Or hail to the Commanders. Sounds so stupid, it's painful.
They don't even have their own fucking identity. They've been stolen. Their identity's been stolen. Now they're a Commander and not a Redskin. Whatever.
Yeah.
So, Z, may I read something to you, please? It's a little intriguing.
Sure, you can read something to me.
This is really perplexing. And I would really like your feedback on this. I mean, so scanning around and what we do here, we always look for content here. And so I happen to be getting ready for the program. Well, in the process, I always get a ping from my friend, Jeremy Fowler. By the way, I got to get him on.
Oh, gosh. I know where he's going with this. So, I read this. This is a fair thing to bring up here.
Okay. This is today, right? This came out today.
I read it. Yep.
Okay. This is a critical year for the Eagles offense under Hurts. After their passing attack was in the bottom third of the league in back-to-back fucked up seasons. I had it fucked up. There we go.
Oh, you think Jeremy Fowler wrote that in his article?
This piss-ass offense, I added that, will feature more play action and under center work, which Hurts has hated. He uses the terms hesitated to embrace. I said fucking hated at times in the past, but has appeared, quote, quote, like a couple days ago, very open that he's really never, ever been open to. Wow. Wonder why. Jalen Hurts has been throwing off-site. How come he and AJ never threw off-site? With multiple receivers, including his new number one, Devontae Smith. I didn't make that up.
Read the next sentence.
Assuming AJ is traded.
Yeah, there you go.
Expected and predicted. Along with veteran Elijah Morekone. Some NFL personnel evaluators still consider Hurts a top 12 quarterback. Top 12. Okay. All of that won't dim the spotlight placed on this man, Jalen fucking Hurts. I added fucking this season. And the spotlight on the team's next move. If he struggles, Jesus criminy, you're going from a place of pessimism. Hurts, I could see, said an AOC executive when asked whether the Phillies could look to move him this offseason if the player struggles. Hurts is a polarizing player, and as his running ability starts to decline, his value declines as a player. And general manager Howie Roseman will always be proactive in finding solutions. Hurts has $32 million and 27 guarantees. The team would take 22 would take a $2.9 million cap hit if he's traded before June 1, that's very doable, but could save 21-4 after June 1. Wow. So you go from a guy writing or appearing on a show and saying that Kumbaya Mannion and Hurts. And now all of a sudden, they're laying it out for you that if this guy kisses the fucking donkey this year in 26 with that passing offense, they're fucking scooting him out the door?
Well, newsflash, everybody. If you're a top paid player in a company and you don't deliver the goods for multiple years on end, your job will be up for review. This isn't breaking news at all.
So you think the Bills would ever look at moving Josh Allen?
Well, do you think Josh Allen's a problem with the Bills' offense?
No. Do you think Jalen Hurts is a problem with the Eagle offense?
No, but when you get to 3 years of underperforming and an underwhelming passing game, then yeah, the quarterback's going to come into play, obviously.
So do you not agree, all kidding aside, Z, do you not agree that this has now turned into this? You can't argue about Hurts' success as a unit. You have to look at it as the individual, and that's what the front office is looking at now. It's him as the player. It can't be anything to do as an offensive unit. They're 50-18.
Yeah, their offense is underperforming though. I mean, last year
But they're looking at him.
And even before the team got in the playoffs, everybody knew the team was going to get because of the offense.
The offense or him?
The offense.
Okay.
The run game sucked too last year.
Okay. Okay. So, but they've won.
They've won, yeah, but they've also had 2 years where they've had a really good defense. You know, the offense hasn't played up to par really since 23, really 22. Because
you're not wrong.
So I just think it's a trend. I mean, at some point, yeah, of course. I mean, when a team doesn't reach expectations, you know, for X amount of years on end, and coaches get fired,
that's my
eventually
take,
the chicken's going to come home to roost on the players.
Yeah, but that's my take. It's not the team; it's him.
Well, because they probably feel like, you know, that they can get more out of the weapons they have on the outside, which is fair.
Or do you think Or do you think they need to get more out of that position, the quarterback?
Well, I think that's fair too, but they don't appear to want to do that. I mean, because that to me, the definition of that to me would mean accentuate Jalen Hurts' skill set, and it doesn't. They're not really making the moves to do that.
No,
and the other caveat is the whole run thing. Like, we don't know, but we're all speculating. Is this Jalen that doesn't want to run? Is it his agent who's telling him not to run? Is it the organization who's telling him not to run? You know, remember, this is an organization who paid Carson Wentz $32 million and then watched him dive between two defenders. He did that before he got paid. But still, he dove between two defenders, tears his ACL, and is never the same player. You know, he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage and takes a hit to the head, and he's never the same player. Ultimately, his career is over in Philadelphia. Maybe it's the organization who doesn't want Jalen Hurts to run. Maybe it's Jalen himself. Maybe it's his agent. Maybe it's the coaches. Who knows? That's a big question, though. Because if you take that out of his game, it's harder to evaluate him as a player.
That's where I'm going here.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts doesn't run the ball this coming season with effectiveness, he's not a $50 million a year guy, according to what Jeremy Fowler's article was, too.
Well, no, this, to me, it's more simple. You know, it's actually more simple.
But do you agree with that?
With what?
He's not a $50 million a year guy if all of a sudden this guy's not a running quarterback. If he doesn't run, he's not the guy. I'm not paying $50 million for his quarterback skill set.
Well, I would. I mean, there's caveats with that, obviously. But to me, it depends on what's around him. For example, if the running game gets back to form this year, then I believe Hurts will be effective through the air. That's what he's been in his career. If they have a good running game that pairs with Jalen Hurts, he has been able to make the throws in his career. That doesn't mean it's high volume. It doesn't mean A.J. Brown's going to be happy. It doesn't mean that they're going to be a top 5 passing offense. What it means is he's going to do enough when he needs to through the air to be competent enough to win games at a high level. That's what he's done in his past.
Okay.
If you take away the run game, not Jalen's run game, I'm talking about the Eagles' run game, and they're not as effective, or they look again like they did last year, and then Jalen's unwilling to run, well, now I think that can of worms has opened up. And you're right. It's not worth the money. It's probably not good enough to get the job done and compete at the highest level. And that's when I think the Jeremy Fowler report would come into play, where maybe they would look to move on from him. But to me, if the run game works this year, Jalen's has had to adapt to a lot of coordinators. If the run game works, all right, I think Jalen will be good enough over the top and throwing the ball. But that's a big caveat, because are we relying on stem cells? Are we relying on Saquon? Well, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are out of the quarterback's hands. And some people would probably tell you, Sills, that they don't want that to be the case. Like, they don't want their quarterback's play to hinge on all these other things. And, hey, that's fair, right? You normally want your quarterback to set the tempo. But that's not really been the Eagles' setup. And we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Okay, so now look, I'm going to throw a name out in Joe Burrow here. So Joe Burrow took a football team that had the 28th ranked offensive line to the Super Bowl. If Hurts' offensive line is not back up to top 10, you're saying that that's going to be an indictment on the entire year? If they can't get the run game going, they're not good in what they're going to do with these stretch runs, whatever. Again, because we're talking about them rebounding from a poor year of a season ago, right?
Yeah.
The whole unit, you think, played poorly.
Do you think the offensive line is going to be better or worse than last year?
I think it's going to be better, but what level? But what level better?
Well, that's the $1 million question. If we knew that, we'd be able to predict perfectly. But to me, if the offensive line's better, Jalen will be better. I don't know how much better, and maybe we'll be debating that by season's end. I mean, what if it's 32-50 and and it's right. You're like, it was good, but was it that good? I don't know. I mean, that's where I could ultimately see this ending up, where it's not as easy to make a decision. But to me, if the offensive line's better, Jalen would be a better player. And that's kind of how I feel about it. But what I'd like to see more of this year is if there are moments where the offensive line is struggling, or there are games where the running game can't get going, I do want to see a little bit more of Hurts taking that on him. Like, I want to see everyone. I'm not saying every week in and week out. I'm not saying every single play or every single possession or every single drive. What I'm saying is there's moments in a year, and for every football team, when somebody has to put the team on their back. There are moments, there are games, there are drives. Sometimes they're late in the game. Sometimes they're late in the season. Sometimes it's a playoff game where someone says, okay, everybody, get on my back. Let's go. We saw Saquon Barkley do it a lot in 2024. We saw Jalen Hurts do it to some extent in the NFC title game and in the Super Bowl. We saw that defense do it a boatload that year too. When those moments come this year, Jalen's got to lift the team up. Because last year, if the run game wasn't working great, the team looked like shit on offense. And the quarterback is eventually going to have to make up for some of those deficiencies. You can't expect perfection week in and week out. So that's what I hope to see this year, is him making up for some of those deficiencies more often. But we'll see what that looks like.
Do you think the offense wore the defense down by the end of the year because of all the 3-and-outs?
Offense, yeah, for sure. Last year? Definitely. Yeah.
And it was more so evident in the 49er game, right?
Yeah, but I even thought the defense held their own pretty well. I mean, they obviously didn't play that good that game. They got beat up a little bit, especially early in that game. But, I mean, if you're going to sit here and tell me that I should blame –
Trent Williams.
I already debated John about this like earlier in the offseason. Eagles, 49ers playoff game.
Trent Williams.
The Eagles lost the game 23-19.
Trent Williams was pushing people around in that game.
Well, I'm just saying, like, John was like, well, the defense was worse in that game. I'm like, okay, they were. But if you think you're going to win significant playoff games scoring 19 points, you're not. And by the way, the defense giving up 23 points, dude, that's not that bad. 23 points in the NFL? What's the average points given up in an NFL game? It's probably north of 20.
It's probably right there.
Yeah. So they gave up 23 points. It's not like they gave up 35.
I think it was the unit, though, that they gave it up to. No Ayuk, no Kittle. It was McCaffrey and Purdy that did the damage in that game. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent. But
I mean, I didn't really think the 49er offense was that exceptional in that game either. I mean, I thought it was
they
more.
didn't have great players.
The 49ers defense surprised everyone, in my opinion, in that. All right, let me ask you this question.
Remember, they had the trick touchdown throw in that game.
Yep, they did. They did. Do you think the organization is balking in any way on Carter? Not like, listen, don't go extreme. Moving him, trading him. Well, they've already talked about trading him. Do you think they've walked back since the start of the 24 season? Do you think they have a different opinion and impression of this player now since the start of the 2024 season?
Different impression of which player?
Jalen Carter.
Oh, a little bit. I just don't. 24
Enough to affect money.
24. It felt like after 24, it felt like he was like literally going to make $40 million, and there was going to be no question about it. He was going to be the certified best defensive tackle in all of football. It doesn't feel like that's there right now. It feels like he's a great player with a major upside and major potential, but he's going to have to do what it takes to reach that potential. And then the other thing is obviously the injury concerns. Where he played as much as he did in 24. He had missed games last year, obviously, shoulder problems, couldn't work out, heel problem last year. He missed the Giants game. I think they're in wait and see mode. And I think that means, yes, by default, that their perspective of the player has changed because they weren't in wait and see mode, dude, after 24. They were not.
This is kind of what I'm hearing, and you tell me if you buy it, that they had to tell Jalen Carter and Drew Rosenhaus this. Hey, man, Jordan Davis is just the next guy up. Because Drew Rosenhaus was a little like, so you give a 3-year contract extension to Jordan Davis, but you don't give a 3-year contract extension as of yet. They may do it post June 1.
I doubt it. Unless Carter's willing to take a deal and it's team friendly. Like, let me ask you this. It's one thing to say right now, hey, would you pay Carter 35? Probably no, right? We're probably in wait and see mode.
Yep.
But what if Carter will take 27.5? $28 million.
I'm going to just by the law averages of more teams that would be interested in me in free agency, I wouldn't take that 28. Since you gave me my 5th year, dude, you gave me a 5th year, that's 28 anyway. So I'm getting that money. You want to pay me the same money as a 5th-year option? Fuck that. No way.
Well, you can't get inside the head of the player or the kid or the agent, but I do remember Jalen Carter.
Yeah, but I know Drew, and I know what Drew's telling him.
Drew is Drew, but I remember Jalen Carter saying, championships are better than money. Now, that doesn't mean he's not. That doesn't mean he's going to. I'm just saying maybe he's like 32, 28. Just give me the deal,
That kid can say that, but you think Drew Rosenhaus was telling Jalen Phillips, hey, playoffs are better than money? He didn't even meet any teams. He just took the 30 in 4 years. I would too. Hey, I would have too.
Well, Phillips isn't that guy.
Hey, 4 years, 30, APB, I'm
Phillips is like me. Phillips likes his cars. He spends quite a bit of cash on cars. It's like sweat. These guys, they're looking for the cash. I get it.
I mean, so you think he's not getting it then this offseason?
I'm not ready to say that yet. I do think they're in wait and see though. So yeah, probably. I'll be surprised. I'll put it this way. I'll be pretty surprised if it comes post June 1.
Okay. What move is yet to be made for your Eagles?
I think the easy answer is safety, but I think more important is the offensive line that you've pointed out many a times. The depth on the offensive line. I mean, we just talked about the offense, and it's like, I'm not saying the safety position's in great shape. What I'm saying is the defense hasn't been the problem with the team. The offense has. And when the offensive line has performed at a high level, the offense has been good enough. And in some areas, very good, obviously, with Saquon's historic performance. So with that being said, what's more important to the impact to the 2026 Eagles? Having a strong offensive line or fixing your safety position when you already have a boatload of good defenders? You know what I mean? I think it's the offensive line, and Well, how will they address it? I don't know. I don't really know. But I do think they're going to do something. Maybe they move somebody in there. Maybe there's a lot of dudes who haven't really proven anything, draft picks.
Well, three of your 6 guys back there, 2, 4, 5. 5 guys. 3 of your 5 guys are fucking good players. Woolen, Cooper DeJean, and Q. And if you get a pass rush from Jonathan Grenard and the other kid, Hunt, comes into form and you get back to play, I think that safety position can be covered. But remember, that safety position, still, that's Vic's baby back there, because he loves middle of the field secured,
Yeah.
And that's one thing the Eagles have been pretty stout on, right? Up the middle. Your 2 tackles, your linebacker play. Your linebacker play, too, will be significant in how your safety play comes out this year.
Oh, definitely.
If Jahad Campbell can't cover, there's going to be problems with your safety play. Now, if he can, and he shows the versatility, that's going to cover those safeties, in my opinion. Oh, absolutely. I wrote this down here, too, Z. One more time on this, too, because I think you fight me a little bit on this. So, you're
Oh, do I?
Listen, Carter, Davis, and Ajomo. Your backups are Robinson, Young, and Gabe Hall. How you feel about that?
I feel fine about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, how many good DTs do they need, brother?
I'm talking about Ty Robinson can't get on the field. Gabe Hall's been cut 3 times.
Byron Young.
Ryan Young's not awful. Not awful. He's not awful.
Yeah, for a 4, that's fine.
Okay. All right. You feel comfortable?
I'm just saying, sometimes, Sills, you make it sound like, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but maybe it's just the big Sills, maybe it's the tonality, or maybe it's the delivery, as Sue would say. You make it seem like if they don't have an all-pro as their 5th defensive tackle, then the team is going to be screwed.
I'll just give you a point. In 2024, your backups were Thomas Booker and Moro Jomo, and your starters were Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Milt Williams.
Thomas Booker's a stiff. He got traded for Jacorian Bennett. If he was that good, he would have gotten traded.
He wasn't a stiff here.
He wasn't all that great.
You think Jomo was your backup?
I was better at being a political operator.
I wasn't Jomo here as your backup.
I'm pretty damn good.
My point is, Ty Robinson and Annie Hall are your backups now. And fucking
we need all pros at the 5th DT spot.
No, I want competency. I want guys who can get on the fucking field.
How about Byron Young? He can get on the field.
Not bad. He's not a bad player.
Yeah. All right.
Not awful. We'll see what happens there, Junior. Let's go to this one here now. Let me read these one more time to you. Here's my favorite here. Drew Kendall, Holland Pierce,
Rutgers,
Jaden Roberts, Miles Hinton.
Dude, you had his dad on the show.
Cameron Williams. That doesn't mean I can't be critical. My great friend Markel Bell. And
you won't hear him be critical of any Miami guys. That's why he glazes Jalen Phillips out the door. The guy was mediocre as hell for 30 M's. I'm happy they let him walk.
I know you are. You loved him when they got him here, though. I remember.
No, I didn't.
You didn't love him here. Okay.
I thought he was okay.
You're right. He didn't do shit for your defense a year ago.
Oh, my gosh, Sileo.
Oh, wait. How do you feel about your depth in your O-line this year?
I just told you it's weak.
Okay.
Interior especially. Oh, I think tackle's good, actually. Well, you got Fred, who's been the guy, and then you got Markel Bell. So what can he do? But interior, not too good. Interior needs some work. I mean, Hinton, what's his name? Cameron
Williams.
Yeah, Cameron Williams.
So, Z, one thing on A.J. Brown with you.
What about Drewy Kendall?
I hope that Hinton and Kendall play this year. I really do.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Z, do you believe that A.J.'s lost a step? Yes or no?
A.J. Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Lost step.
But I still think he's a 1,400 receiver in the right offense.
Okay. You think he drops too many passes now?
I think that was a focus thing.
Okay. So you still think he's a 1,300 to 1,500 yard guy?
I care more with AJ. I care more about I think it's more important to look at the speed and the knees versus the drops when it comes to talking about a declining player. That's what I think is more relevant.
You think he's a declining player?
I think he's reached his peak as a player. I do.
Okay. Well, how are you expecting a 1 and a 3 back then?
Well, because someone's going to be stupid enough to think that peak can still be extended. Somebody listens to Big Sills too much in the NFL front offices. Maybe your guy,
the Patriots aren't stupid people.
Huh?
The Patriots aren't stupid.
Oh, Mike Vrabel is. And he's the one banging the table for him.
And more than that. Banging more than that. All right.
All right.
I wrote a couple little things here down here.
You know who's going to be one of the better teams in football this year? You like this team.
Hold on for a second.
It's taken me a bit to come around on them, but their coaching additions this year are making me do it.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me guess.
I think you're going to get it.
Would you say coaching additions?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the Bucks?
No.
Carolina?
Nope. It's an AFC team.
Okay. The Giants?
Are they an AFC team?
No. Hang on.
AFC West, I believe.
The Raiders? Chargers.
Chargers.
Chargers are a good football team, dude.
I think Mike McDaniel and Justin Herbert are going to be a match made in heaven. I really do. Mike McDaniel was all jacked up and really did a pretty good job at getting the most out of Tua Tagovailoa, who, as an Alabama guy myself, that's tough. So I think Justin Herbert, being one of the most talented players in the league, talented quarterbacks in the league, I think that's going to be a pretty good looking offense.
Okay. You ready for this? By 2026, Big Cell's prediction, Justin Herbert will win the National Football League's most valuable player award.
I can see it. I don't think that's a crazy take at all. Their offensive line's going to have to stay healthy, though. I mean, he lost both tackles last year, and they're great tackles. Rashawn Slater.
They still won 11 games. Oh, Slater, great. Yeah.
Yeah. And Alt's good, too.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, Z, I wrote down these here for where is that here? Here we go. All right. Jalen Hurts has to command this in 2026. And what I mean by that is this is going to be Jalen Hurts' his concerns going into this game on whether or not, and into this season, whether or not we're going to see Jeremy Fowler's column be true or not true. And he gets the extension. You think he masters this new offense under Mannion?
I mean, mastering it's tough in year one. I think that's fair to say. Most times you hear like great coaches and even great quarterbacks say year two of an offense is typically the best when it comes to mastering, playing, and having experience, terminology, changes, all those different things. So I don't think mastering, but I mean, look, Hurts has had to deal with a lot of changes. That's one thing you just can't take away from him. I mean, learning a lot of playbooks does make you a more versatile player. So, yeah, I think he'll be good. I don't know about mastering, but I think he'll be good enough for sure with it.
Okay. You believe that in 2026, Hurts is going to figure out how to exploit the middle of the field this year?
More so. I don't know about volume and consistently, but I think more so. I mean, I think maybe some quicker routes where that doesn't require as much, anticipation. Maybe some mesh routes, some of those quick slants over the middle. I know those are anticipation too, but you sometimes see guys put it on the seam. And I've seen Jalen do that too, where he had one seam throw recently or last year, a couple years ago, that was really good. But you see Dak do this all the time. Dak is throwing to the seam, dude. I mean, he throws to the seam perfectly. I know Eagle fans, again, won't want to hear that, but Dak Prescott can fucking throw the ball to the seam. I don't know about that, but I'd like to see more quicker, short intermediate routes over the middle to kind of try and get guys, with some momentum. Get Smitty some momentum. Get Mekhi Lemon some momentum. I could see that.
You think it'll be more balanced getting into the middle? You think you're going to see more like that's going to be an approach? Because so far you said this. He's not going to master Mannion's offense. He's going to be okay in the offense. And now you just got through telling me, hey, we're going to uptick it a little bit, throw it across the middle.
This guy's fucking ability to just change words. I didn't say it. What did you just say? I said he's going to be media.
He's going to be okay.
No, it's not like
mastering. Instead of mastering.
Dude, you don't master an offense in year one. Agree or not?
Well, you do if you're Matthew Stafford.
Bullshit.
So Matthew Stafford's first year in Los Angeles, how'd he do?
They won a ring. Yes, they did.
Okay. I'm just curious. Did
he master the offense that year?
I don't know. They won a Super Bowl.
I think he mastered the offense last year with an MVP trophy.
So Jalen's not going to – you see, folks, it's the words. Master the new offense.
It's the bullshit words this guy uses.
Okay, so he's going to kind of have it going across the middle of the field this coming season. Okay, here's another one. How does your boy, a man who has a Jalen Hurts jersey, how does he restart? You told me you had a Jalen Hurts jersey.
I have a Jalen Hurts Eagles number 2 jersey.
Okay.
That was his rookie year.
I thought you had a Bama one.
No, I have a regular Bama jersey. You know who I wore in college when I was at Bama? I lost it, though. Jersey got messed up in the shuffle of college.
Hightower.
Derrick Henry. Okay.
Dude, I'm going to tell you one more time. I'm watching a ball game with my wife, and he fucking jumped over a guy.
Dude, he's a fucking
guy. I mean, he like catapulted over a guy. She looked at me and went, "Is that guy 255 pounds?" I go,
"Guys, he's insane."
He went in the second fucking round.
Dude, do you have much better knowledge on this than I would? Has there been a player in the past that physically has those type of traits with that type of ability?
Yeah, but it's old school backs like Peyton and Eric Dickerson and shit like Earl Campbell.
Were they as like?
Yeah.
They were that physically imposing. I didn't watch those guys.
It was a different running game than Eric Dickerson's 6'4", and he's 235 pounds with world.
Jerome Bettis, that's a name I was thinking of.
Dude, that's another guy that ran dudes over. But the guys today, dude, they're not like that guy.
What was Bettis's nickname? Like the Fridge or something?
Bus.
The Bus. That's what it was. Who was the Fridge?
That's William Perry. He was a defensive line.
Yeah, defensive lineman. That's right. Yeah.
Dude, Bo Jackson, 6'3", 255 pounds, and ran 4.240s. Those guys were just different dudes then, though. You don't see them guys any longer. Henry could play. How about this? Henry can play in any era. Dude,
I agree with that, yeah.
Play in any fucking era.
And guess
who? The best offensive player Nick's ever had at Alabama?
Guess who ultimately got the best of Derrick Henry?
Oh, don't tell me Cooper DeJean.
Dude, he did. Wait, and I have tangible proof that is in Derrick Henry's head.
Oh, I think Derrick Henry would like another shot at that kid.
Did you see the video of the Eagle fan trolling him?
No.
So he was doing a meet and greet and signing stuff for people. And you know how one by one people come up and get their stuff signed. Somebody put out the picture of Cooper DeJean tackling him, and he got all pissed. He's like, "Man, get that out of here."
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is rattled by Coop.
I can't fucking hate that though. I can't.
I
Because
can't.
I like that kid, man.
Yeah. Nah, Coop is a savage.
Okay. Hey. All right. So, Big Zeit, how is your boy in 26 going to help restart the run game?
Who's my boy?
You're a quarterback.
Why is he my boy?
Jalen Hurts, how does he help restart?
Let's start with maybe passing the ball effectively. How about that?
Okay, so passing the ball effectively.
Oh, fuck. I just spilled my fucking.
Why are you so tense?
I just spilled my fucking. What do you call them? My specialty drinks and shit. Look at I got it on my wallet.
Holy shit, there.
You
man.
gotta be kidding me, dude.
You guys drinking those fucking fruity cokes and shit now.
That's what I get. I can't hold this napkin here. I got it. It's real quick.
Well, clean yourself up a little bit here, man.
All right, dude. I'm fine.
Hey, I'm sorry for rattling you like this.
You didn't rattle. I think I rattled you.
I'm noted for rattling, folks. I get it. Hey, I know. I got it, man. Take your time. Clean yourself up. You're going to need a bib this year after I'm done with you, guy. This guy's going to need a fucking bib, especially after this season. Seriously, dude. You better get that little kid friend of yours that you have that rolls around your family, and you better get a bib because you're going to need it this year with big sales, man.
That was actually the most effective spill you'll ever see. One condensed spot, hit the wallet, immediate, quick, clean, and dry. Drop over here. One paper towel, wipe to the trash can. One extra towel. It's barely even wet. Nothing else. No electronics touched. Perfect spill.
I've had a rule since it hosed me my 4th year in radio. I never have anything really close to any electronics. And I got a divider. So if it does spill, fucking hits the divider and it doesn't go.
Electronics are all back there. They're good.
Yeah, I don't let that shit. So how is your boy? So you said this. More effective in the passing game. Well, how about doing this, kid? Get off your Gucci ass and run the fucking ball some more.
Oh, man. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. What do you want from me? Yeah, go ahead. Be the 25th passing offense again. This isn't acceptable. I agree.
Okay.
What do you think? You're breaking news here?
No, I'm just saying things in 26 that your boy's going to have to command in this offense this year. He's going to be responsible for getting the run game going. He's going to be responsible for throwing it across the middle of the field.
The $21 million back doesn't.
He's going to be responsible for
BS. The $21 million running back doesn't bear any responsibility in the run game.
If his guy doesn't master this offense, he can't throw across the middle, and he can't help the run game get going. He's a turd, like Fowler said. All right. Here's the last one for you. How will your boy adapt without A.J. Brown? Will be a question this year. Do you know?
I think that's a fair question. I am good with that question. That is not a big Sills question. I think that's a fair question. Yeah, I mean, look, AJ, when AJ showed up, Jalen's career took off, in a big way. Now, he had a decent year in his first year starting. It wasn't awful. They won 9 games. They started out 2-5. Everybody remembers how that went. He wasn't awful, but it took off when AJ Brown showed up and he got a certified number 1. So Jalen has to show that he's developed enough to be able to make that type of change. You've seen this with other quarterbacks where they've lost great receivers and they're able to prevail. But the one thing you've seen, even with quarterbacks who've been able to prevail, I think obviously the easy example here is Mahomes, who got rid of Tyreek Hill, is just because you prevail doesn't mean it looks the same. And that's going to mean it's going to require a different version of you as a player. It's going to require a different type of output for you as a player, as an offense, as a unit. I mean, look at Mahomes. Mahomes played the game completely differently after Tyreek Hill. I mean, they lived with Kelsey in the short and intermediate. They had Tyreek Hill for the long. It was a very different style of offense versus when they got rid of him. In fact, it took Mahomes quite a bit of time. If you remember, team really wasn't that good. They were
500. They were 500 the first 11 games.
Right. Week 12, they were 500. So
the year they beat you guys in the Super Bowl, I think they only won 11 games that year.
Yeah, you might be right about that. I have to double check, but I think you're right. So yeah, let's see what he does. But I think he does feel comfortable with Devontae. Now, that's not the same as having two of them, but we'll see. It's a fair question. We got to see how Hurts handles it.
I want to go back. One last thing here. Do you think your organization, the Eagle organization, do you think that Jeffrey Lurie is telling people publicly his affection for Hurts, but privately, behind the scenes, they've got this guy in the hot seat? And listen first before you answer. These stories that are all coming out, look, do you buy them or not? Probably 15% of all these stories probably have actual intel that probably people gave. But Zander, the amount of stories that have come out about his character, about how he doesn't buy in, how he's now buying in, how they look at him. There's talk that there's no extension.
Are you so realizing this?
No. Well, no, that's exactly what's happened.
I mean, when I think about Jalen Hurts, I don't think about character problems.
Well, bro,
I just don't. I'm just telling. That's just my personal take.
Whether they're true or not, all these stories have come out, and there's been multiple stories.
But him not buying into an offense for the 13th coordinator with the dude who didn't win over the locker room is not a character problem.
That's not where I'm going. I'm going with all these stories that have come out on him.
No, you're going with the story that said he didn't buy into the offense.
Okay, Tim McManus, Jeff McClain. You've got numerous people that are in nationally, Albert Breer. You've got Adam Schefter. You've got all these guys reporting that there's a discord in there with the offensive passing game. These are the same people that are going to go back into that building and write stories on these guys. Those guys got that fucking intel from somebody. They just didn't make that. Hey,
there better be. I mean, if you're the 26th.
You're right. You're not going to let Big Sills in the NovaCare Center. But you know what you are going to do, too? If you're making fucking stories up like Adam Schefter or Jeff McClain and Tim McManus, and you're making stories up, they're not going to let you in, too.
Well,
that's my point is this. Boy, there's sure a lot of these every other week. Hey, they're boys. Hey, listen, this guy don't get it done this year. He's out the door.
Yeah, but there's a magnifying. There's a magnifying glass on this shit. For example, I'll take everybody's personal life. If there was if everything that happened in your household, you Sills or anybody listening, if everything that happened in your household was being covered morning, noon, and night, and revealed and reported and talked about, and every time you had a disagreement with your wife or your significant other or your kids or your child or whatever the case may be, it was reported, there'd probably be a string of things where you're like, oh, that's a dysfunctional household. Meanwhile, you're like, what do you mean? It was 3 months ago and we're good. It's all microscope. It's all put under the magnifying glass. And there were the 26th ranked passing offense. Do you think you're breaking news to me to tell me that there was some discussions internally about the offense not being happy with the output? No shit.
No. Moving off of people is a different conversation.
Well, multiple years in a row. I mean, it's one thing to have a fight with your wife. It's another thing to fight every single day. Okay. If it's 3 years and you're not reaching expectations, all right, well, then it gets more fair. But coming off of a year where, remember, 24 fucked it up a little bit because they didn't need to pass the ball well, and they still won at the highest level. So they tried to come back and do the same thing. Obviously, makes sense why they tried to do that. You agreed to that. Now it didn't, so now they're in more fix-it mode this time as opposed to being in preserve mode. All right, yeah, now it's time to fix it. Now, maybe some people in that room who are grown adults and talented players have a different vision for how to do that. That's fair too.
Okay.
So I think it's just magnified too much.
Okay, Z. So let's ask a question on what you asked a year ago in September. Zander, you said that the Eagle offense needed to get more from the quarterback in the passing game. Do you think that failed or they had success a year ago? Philadelphia, they failed.
That failed. Okay. Yeah, that objectively failed.
And that's why we're here.
I mean, I'll pull up the game because people don't like to do it. I'll pull up the exact game, the 49er game. Now, I don't love going off of box scores. I don't. But I'm just going to give you some raw numbers in the 49er game. The defense gave up 361 yards. Not great, but also didn't give up 450, 500, 400, 360. It's a lot. Okay, it's a little too much. Saquon Barkley had 26 carries for 106 yards. You think he did his job that day?
Yeah.
Okay. And they scored 19 points. So when I look at the team, the one area of that game that clearly was not enough was Jalen Hurts was 20 for 35 with 168 passing yards. Now, if that's 25 for 35 with 265 and 2 tutties, all right, we're talking about a different outcome in the ball game. Could the defense have been better? Absolutely. Could Saquon have been better? Absolutely. My point is, that's a prime example of what I said earlier in this segment of I need Jalen when not everything is going perfect, when the defense doesn't have a perfect night, when Saquon can't get 6 yards of carry. I need you to do the rest. I need you to elevate the rest of the squad.
Okay. You just brought something up there that I hadn't thought of. 165 used to be enough. What was his rushing totals in that game?
14 yards, 5 carries for 14 yards.
There's your back walking, and there's your guy going back. Because traditionally in the past, he'd go for 165 and have 47 yards rushing with a touchdown or maybe 2 TDs rushing.
Right. So there you go. There's a good – I'm fine with it being rushing or passing. I would agree with that.
Don't you agree? The rushing yards is what is missing. Dude, he's been doing 165 for his entire 5 years starting.
A little more than that. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
It's the 50 yards rushing that's being missed, right?
20 at 35 isn't normal Jalen, though. I mean, that was pretty low. But again, I don't like to – again, I don't love to go off the box score. I'm just illustrating to you that, it's not always going to be perfect. You're not always going to have the great run game. You're not always going to have your defense that performs at the highest level every single game. Like, people talk about that defense. Like, all right, they didn't have their best game. They didn't get shelled. They gave up 23 points at 350 yards. It was fine. This is where I think the quarterback this year, I would say, when things don't go perfect, if the run game is 4 yards of carry like it was in that playoff game, I need Jalen to take him the distance. Take him over the top. Provide that. I'm not saying you got to do it all. I'm not saying it all has to come down on Hurts, but I'd like to see a little bit more of that this year, where if things don't go well, put it on me. Get on my back. Let's go here. That's what I'd like to see a little more of this year.
What do you think Farzetta's going to think about his boy Joel Embiid?
I don't know. I'm not going to speak for Farzy, but
that's Farzy's boy.
Joel's a tough player to gauge. I'll say this. Joel is a tougher player to gauge for Philly. Some people think like you, and they just think, oh, he's a total stiff. But Joel Embiid is one of the most talented players the Sixers have ever had. He's been marred by injuries his entire career. He's 7'2" and can't stay on the floor. It makes sense to some extent. Are all the injuries his fault? No, not really. Are there things you can criticize him for? Absolutely. But I don't know. I wonder what Farzi's going to say. I'm not a huge Joel Embiid fan at this point, but I understand fans who like him. Like, I argued with my cousin about this. He's like, what the fuck do you mean you don't like Joel Embiid? He's given us a decade of awesome basketball. I'm like, all right, well, I don't really see it that way, but
I think sitting there at a press conference telling people he had a successful season because he didn't get hurt is ridiculous.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he had his kid up there shielding him like he was Captain
I don't
America.
I don't watch press conferences.
Yeah, well, I do because I read tea leaves too. Because I'm Big Cells. How you doing?
I know.
All right, Big C. Are we good here? Wait, here we got it.
I think we got like 2 or 3. I'll rip them real quick.
Hey, Mark, we got a couple supers. We're gonna get to them. Be right there to you, bro.
Eagles extend Hurts. Simply make or don't make playoffs, or wins and/or stats needed for either scenario. Yeah, I think it's a successful team. I don't think it's
bro. If Jalen Hurts has a top 10 passing attack and a top 10 offense, they're going to extend that guy.
I don't think to me, it's not stat based. It can't be. You can't get to the playoffs and feel like you're going to lose because
it's not stat based, and you should stick to what you were doing.
I agree. Hurts will be great for 5-6 games, and a mysterious injury will pop up, and he sits while we lose and get a decent draft spot. Book it, 7-8 wins. I don't agree. Cal says, I need another late offseason trade for safety. I could see that.
After June 1, yeah.
Kimberly says, sports journalist in Poland. I got accepted to a sports broadcasting program, LFG. Nice, Kim.
There you go.
Sweet, Kimberly. Well done. Congrats.
There you go.
Hey, Sills, you agree with Aikman defending Hurts as a quarterback?
Yeah, I do. Because Troy Aikman basically played the same role.
Kyle says the first 5 games released. It's Washington, Titans, Bears, Rams, and Jags. Ooh, Rams week 4 again?
Woo, baby. Look at that start out there.
I like that start. I see 3 games.
You're going to find out who you are right away.
I see 3 games in there I love. Titans, Bears, and Jags.
Well, you got a divisional game in there.
Divisional. Rams are a tough opponent.
Yep. And the Jaguars. All right. Big Z.
All right, dude, later.
We will catch you in the morning. All right. Boy, I'll tell you something, man. I said this about Joel Embiid. I go, and Zander's not wrong. The guy is maybe one of the best shooting 7-footers that we've ever seen from the 3-point line. But again, if I have to have my center shooting from the 3-point line, who the hell's on the 5? Who's playing the box? Who's getting the rebounds? Who's starting the fast break? I mean, and then he gets up there and goes, what a successful season. I didn't get hurt. Without further ado, we couldn't have him Tuesday because you know what he was doing? He was planting peppers. He was planting tomatoes. I would say there's probably going to be a little bit of there's got to be carrots in there too. What else would I say? You know what? I got to tell you something. I'm starting to figure out maybe he may be a Northern Italian because there's no fig tree in this thing. So I don't know. You got to get the fig tree in the garden, man. Got to get a fig tree in there. And I would think there's probably some zucchini in there and maybe some cucumber in there. I don't know. We'll see. Without further ado, one of my favorite people to talk to, he is Mark Farzetta. He joins us now. How you doing, my friend?
First off, how dare you? Okay. First off, I find out that the NFL is scheduling a game for the Eagles on Christmas freaking Eve. So forget about 7 fish for me, my friend. And then you accuse me of being a Northern Italian when my family hails from Calabria, which is only Northern Italian to you Sicilians. Thank you very much. And you kick me while I'm down about a fig tree. What's going on here, man? I thought I was a guest. How do you treat your guests?
You are. I apologize too because, but I gotta tell you, man.
Yeah.
Every Italian garden has a fig tree, dude.
That's a big garden. If you have
fig tree in there.
Yeah, that's a huge garden, and I do have room for it. I just dug about 25 by about 15-foot garden. My wife and I, we tried a smaller garden last year, like 4 by 7, and we're like, we love this, so we're going big, baby. So yeah, that's my project for the next. So
you got a garden that looks like Don Corleone's garden in his backyard, right?
I want to chase.
Yeah. I
want to chase my future grandchildren through this garden. Yeah. Exactly.
And you get all the the sheets. You put them up there like your grandma used to back in the day in the clothesline, and you're doing all that. Yeah, I love it. All good here, man. All right, so let's get into a little bit. What do you make of some of the teams that you're seeing in the scheduling so far with the NFL and what it seems for the Eagles here? They get out, they're going to open up against Washington, and we got these right here, Farzy, so far. I believe week 2 it's going to be Titans, Rams week 3. We have week 5. So far we got Jaguars in London.
Yeah, good old Jolly
Bears
Old.
are going to be there as well. I think Rams are 4, Bears are 3. You have the Cowboys, Monday Night Football, week 7. You've got the Commanders on Sunday Night Football, week 8. You've got the Cowboys on Turkey Day. You've got the Battle of PA on week 15. The Deontay's also week 9. What do you make of how the schedule's setting up so far?
The first thing that I go to with the schedule is I look at the ats and like how many road games they're going to have in a row. And it doesn't really seem to be that bad. In the early goings, they play at home, which is good to start off the season. It's been a minute since then.
Yeah.
An actual home game where they're actually in South Philadelphia and not São Paulo, Brazil. So this is good. Then they got the back-to-back away games against the Titans and the Bears, one of them on Monday Night Football. So they get the primetime game up there in week 3. Then they're home against the Rams again like they were last year. Hopefully you won't need a Jordan Davis block field goal to win that game. Jaguars in London. I assume week 6 is going to be the bye after the London game. And then they got Dallas for the first time, and that's going to be on Monday Night Football. So the early goings of the schedule, I like. You got some good tests in there, a good playoff team like the Bears last year, so you see whether or not the Commanders come out better than they did last year. You got the London game, fine. But then the thing that really jumps out to me is the end of the schedule to this point. And it's funny that the schedule release is tonight, yet we know all but, 5 games?
Yeah.
You got Seattle and Houston both at home. I like that you don't got to go to Seattle. I like that you don't have to go to Houston for the Christmas Eve game. Then you make the cross-country flight to take on the 49ers, and then you're back East Coast to take on the Giants at the very end of the season. I like that you don't have to go to Seattle, then back to face the Texans, then back to face the 49ers. That's something that has bit the Eagles in the butt in the past where they've ended up staying out there for 2 weeks, so they don't have to do that. I actually like what I'm seeing so far for the organization of the schedule. Obviously, we knew the opponents. So far, so good. I don't think they're really taxed on a lot of this. I think they have enough tests and enough should-be wins, you call it that, in the early goings of the season. So I like what I'm seeing so far with the schedule still yet to be fully released before tonight.
I want to read you something here about Jeremy Fowler coming out today, and you tell me. A couple days ago,
the
Jeremy
flip-flopper?
Here, yeah, because 2 days ago, I heard Sean Mannion and Hurts are boys. They're at Gino's eating, cheesesteaks and shit, and these guys are, swapping spit. So I'm going to read you a couple things here. So today, an NFL executive told Jeremy Fowler that he believes that Hurts is still a top 12 quarterback, and he's a polarizing player and has running ability, and if it starts to decline, his value declines too.
Oh my
this
God.
AFC executive told Fowler and said that Howie Roseman is a proactive guy and will find ways. And again, he says that he goes on to say that if he struggles again in the offense this season, he could see the Eagles moving on from Jalen Hurts at the end of this year. I mean, Mark, here's what, for me, before you answer, it's like good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy, good guy, bad guy. All these stories that are coming out, it looks like somebody's trying to tell us something. I don't really care what's being said in there. It just seems that Hurts is either going to have to do it this year or he's not. I mean, how do you read all this stuff here? Because these look like Bob Link specials coming out here. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay. So let's follow the bouncing ball with Jeremy Fowler. First off, a month and a half ago, he and Tim McManus get together for that story about how uncoachable Jalen Hurts is. Okay. And within that same story, they tell a story about Jalen Hurts being uncoachable, yet under Kellen Moore, he didn't want to run motion offenses, yet they ran the 11th most motions in all of football. For a franchise quarterback doesn't want to do it, that seems like a lot. And then under Kevin Patullo, they only run 23. So it sounds like he is coachable when he has a coach who can actually coach. All right. So then you follow the bouncing ball more with Jeremy Fowler. And then he comes out earlier this week, as you alluded to, saying, hey, these guys are getting along. Jalen Hurts likes the offense. He likes Sean Mannion. And now it's breaking news. If a football player doesn't perform well, the team might not keep him around. What the hell are we talking about? I mean, this I understand that he's got multiple offensive coordinators. I know people love to crank that out for an excuse for whatever for Jalen Hurts. But the bottom line is you have had almost a narrative shift surrounding Jalen Hurts. When I saw the story most recently with Fowler earlier today about, if he doesn't play well, they could move on. Of course, everyone knows what the contract is. Everyone knows it's a very similar thing with A.J. Brown when you talk, even better so for the Eagles. If you talk about a 2027 post-June 1st designation, they save $21 million, I believe it is, if they move on from him after 2027, June 1st. Everyone knows the contract. Everyone knows he has to play at a high level. It's a quick turnaround. If you're not going to blame another offensive coordinator, it's going to fall on Jalen Hurts. And yes, if he doesn't perform at a high level, if he doesn't get back to a Pro Bowl level of play, not an alternate Pro Bowler, but an actual Pro Bowler, a guy that's going to lead this team to many wins, and you can't rely on the passing game, and it's a run-first offense all the time, then yeah, the Eagles are going to move on from him. I don't get the flip-flopping around about this guy when there's so many moving parts to this Eagles offense. I do like the idea of him and the new coordinator getting along. I think that there is something to that when it comes to the guy had played the quarterback position in the NFL. He has obviously been exposed to the offense that they're running anyway. That's where they brought him in. So, until they get on the football field and actually see what this offense can do, I have no reason to just say, oh, this is going to be another dud, because I think ultimately the talent that is here will flourish in what the new idea of the system is.
So I heard Kevin Patullo taking victory laps on how he was instrumental.
Oh man, he built it.
Building the success of the Eagles. You would think that this guy was North Turner on how he was building the Eagle offense. And what you just said there. So Jalen Hurts didn't like Kevin Patullo and didn't buy in to Kevin Patullo. And even though that guy's down in Miami taking victory laps, but now he's bought into Sean Mannion. How do I believe that? I mean, Kevin Patullo just got to telling me 2 days ago, this guy here was North Turner 2.0. I mean,
yeah.
Is this guy, is he too much? Oh, wait a minute. You just gave me this, so I got it. So go ahead.
Yeah, he I think we've all fudged on a resume from time to time.
Yeah.
I like to go into, not that I've ever done this, but the just as an example, I was the director of communications. You work the front desk. That's not the same thing. You know what I mean? That's what it reminds me of Kevin Patullo. Yeah, we were there. We built it. He brought me. I was the first person there. We built it together. People doubted whether or not Nick Sirianni had anything to do with building the Eagles. When you look at Jeff, okay, so let's look at the pecking order here to see where exactly Kevin Patullo falls in, okay? All right, so you got Jeffrey Lurie, who's a little bit of a hands-on owner. All right, I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and then you got Howie Roseman, who is all hands-on, obviously. And then you got Nick Sirianni grasping for whatever's left over. It's not even a crumb that would have fallen to the plate. It's not even a crumb that would have fallen to the plate of Kevin Patullo in this situation. So what the hell was he talking? If we're talking about a head coach that's like, hey, what is it you say you do here? Then what is, a passing game coordinator, an associate, not even assistant, associate head coach? What the hell is he even doing here? So this guy has been on a PR campaign to play the I'm not the idiot game since he was fired from the Philadelphia Eagles. He ran, not even before then, because he ran to Ryan Fitzpatrick beforehand, who he worked with in New York with the Jets. He ran to him beforehand. Hey, just so you know, I'm brilliant. Jalen's an idiot. I'm doing everything right. He's doing everything wrong. And then, of course, everyone knows he's the snitch when it comes to the original Fowler and McManus story that came out a month and a half ago. So I look at Kevin Patullo, and I'm just like, dude, I'm glad you're getting a fresh start. Keep the Eagles name out your mouth, okay? If you want to put it on your resume, I get it. But everything else, I'm not listening. I'm moving on from it. I don't care. I go back to the idea, and I know I've said this with you before. I feel like if you give this offense, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, now Eli Stowers, you give these guys, Mekhi Lemon, obviously include him in that as well. You give these guys an offensive coordinator who doesn't draw up his plays in crayon, you're going to have a good season, okay? And I think Sean Mannion is at least using a ballpoint pen. And, he's a younger guy, so he's probably all digital anyway. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah,
the only time I fudged my resume was I said I had 14 shares when I was doing afternoons on KMBR, and the guy goes, wait a minute, dude. Sports Phone 68? Isn't that when the San Francisco Giants game was going on? Damn. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I would do the show and I would get preempted sometimes, right? But I would have to do the post game. And so, like, yeah, I'm doing 15 shares. Well, I was doing the show. I mean, hey, the San Francisco Giants just happened to be going on there while I was doing the show. Sure. All right. Yeah. That kind of helped a little bit there. All right.
That's like the guy in Oklahoma doing news updates for the Howard Stern show. I'm on the Howard Stern show, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, I want you to help me out on this. So I saw a list where Nick Sirianni is number 2 on the hot seat going into this season. Do you believe that the reason that Nick is so maybe disrespected across the league is because when things go well, Howie Roseman gets the flowers. When shit hits the fan, it's Nick. It's no one else. I mean, if you think about it, name me another place in the NFL where the general manager is the face of a franchise. Seattle? John Schneider? Okay. Name me another place. It's Philly. Do you think that Howie, again, being the face that he is and the guy that he is and the persona that he is, you think it hurts Nick's narrative on what he's accomplished here as a coach?
Absolutely. Especially when you look at the talent Howie has given to Nick Sirianni and basically just said, all right, dude, don't mess this up, that kind of thing. Like, the fact that Nick Sirianni took over the head coaching job with the intention and the responsibility to call plays and then doesn't tells you a lot. Yeah. And I know the success. Hey, you can't argue with the result. You could be a little baffled by how they
Mark, I've never seen a guy keep his job after having that taken away from him.
Okay. Yeah. And on that same note, you have gone through different offensive coordinators, and now this is the most indicting thing here. I'm sorry, you're a head coach who has been to 2 Super Bowls. You've won a Super Bowl. You've had historically the greatest start to a head coaching career ever. And now you're bringing in another offensive coordinator who, by the way, you're an offensive-minded head coach who now is going to another offensive coordinator who is now bringing an offensive scheme that they're literally naming after 2 other head coaches that you've been more successful than in the NFL, other than Sean McVay. He's been to 2, he's won 1 as well. So, like, we're back to what is it that you do here? Look, when it comes to motivating, Nick must have a phenomenal way to motivate. When it comes to shifting, hey, this is what we're planning to do. Go make a hard right turn. Now this is what we're going to do. Like in the week 5 bye of the Super Bowl year when they won the Super Bowl, the shifting around they did, the adjustments that they made, he must be phenomenal at that. But at some point, you got to be good at planning. At some point, you just got to be prepared. At some point, you got to have the answer when a team is starting to go by the wayside like the Eagles were offensively last year. And that's another thing. You look at the way Nick Sirianni inserted himself last year and got more involved in the play calling, and still you have another second half where you don't complete a pass. You had it against the Buccaneers early in the season. Then you had it against the Bills in Buffalo late in the season. Hey, this guy must have the secret sauce to just be able to motivate and make a team focus, because it doesn't seem like he's really got much else other than that. So I don't get it.
How much influence do you think the front office has in all this here? Because would we not agree? There's so much more stability on the defensive side. They almost like leave that alone. They don't even like dive into that. I mean, whatever Vic wants, he gets. But yet in the offense, it seems like micromanaging. We're doing this. We need this. We need to have that guy. Let's get a new passing coordinator. Let's fire, for all intent purposes, Jeff Stoutland. Let's do this. We want to do a new scheme. We were 50-18 4 years. Screw it. We got to go this route because we don't believe we can win anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they micromanage that side of the ball.
I think Jeffrey Lurie prides himself on knowing offense. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I think he prides himself. We could all go back to this famous story of him and Doug Peterson after they beat the Green Bay Packers by running the football, and Jeffrey Lurie's like, so why did you run so much? I was like, well, that's how we were winning. He wants the throw. He wants the air attack to be prolific, right? Then you also look at the fact that when Jim Schwartz was here, they kind of did the same thing. They said, Jeff, it's your defense, you do your thing. Now that Vic Fangio's here, hey, Vic, it's your defense, you do your thing. I think they like having that authoritative figure there that really knows defense, because they don't.
Jim
and I think Jim Johnson's a perfect example of that. Absolutely. Jim Johnson's a perfect example of that. Jeffrey wants to look and focus on offense and have somebody else run the defense. I think that's really what it comes down to, unfortunately. But I'll ask you this question. If Nick Sirianni was even up to be an offensive coordinator the year after Doug Peterson was fired, let's say, let's even keep Doug here and they brought Nick Sirianni. Would Nick Sirianni even get the offensive coordinator job in that scenario? If it was really any other coach, maybe. Would they look at Nick Sirianni even be the offensive coordinator?
No.
Hey, I don't think so either. And he's the head coach of this football team. And they've had amazing success. It's just one of those things that just doesn't make a lot. I used this analogy before, but a Jackson Pollock painting with the dots all over the place. Okay.
Yeah.
The Eagles were really looking for like Da Vinci or Michelangelo. Okay. And they got Jackson Pollock. They can't explain it, but somehow it's art. Somehow it works.
I saw this guy in South Philly painting murals. I was looking for Michelangelo. Thank you very much. I got it here. Yeah. All right, for this 2026 season, would you not think that Jalen Hurts is going to be in control of this right here, these couple of these things? And you tell me how this is going to play out. How is Jalen Hurts going to master this new offense under Sean Mannion? Will he be able to, in your opinion, master this offense?
I do think he'll be able to master the. I'm sorry, I thought there was another part to that. Yeah, I do think he'll be able to master it. The thing that I like about this is less thinking for Jalen Hurts, more reacting. I think that's going to be a big factor for him. Building the confidence of, hey, man, when you throw over the middle of the field, you're actually really good at it. So maybe let's do that a little bit more. Under center, 4 of your best games last season, you were under center the majority of the time. Let's hold you true to your word that you said after the Minnesota Vikings game last year, where they ran more play action than they ever had. Hey, after the game, you said that you actually championed, you called for more under center plays. Let's hold you true to that. And let's see if you can do that with great consistency. Now you have guys, not only like Dallas Goedert, you have Eli Stowers, who I think will be a big factor in this Eagles offense, especially with 2 tight end sets that you'll see with Sean Mannion. Trying to replace the talent, not necessarily with just Mekhi Lemon, but an expanded role for Devontae Smith. Throws closer to the line of scrimmage, West Coast concepts, not West Coast true, but West Coast concepts, and also using the run game when you have Saquon Barkley behind you. I think you can absolutely flourish in that. You look at last year, and I think about the problems with last year. Jalen was not good last year. But then you also look at the offensive line being banged up. You also look at Kevin Patullo, another first-year coordinator with no previous play calling experience, really. A lot of things went wrong. I have confidence in the talent of this team if this talent is organized properly, and last year that was not at all the case. I at least have confidence in Sean Mannion being a former quarterback and coming from some successful systems with experience in that will get this talent organized and deploy them properly as opposed to hitch routes and go routes and all that stuff combined. So I look at that for the upcoming season. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have one hell of a bounce back year.
Okay, how about this one here? You just mentioned it. So how is he going to implement throwing across the middle of the field when he just hasn't? I mean, Farzy, he's one of the least passing quarterbacks in the last whatever years. He's thrown 87. Yeah. 87 of his 1,300 passes across the middle of the field. Think about that. 87 of those passes went across the middle in his entire career in Philly. Why is that going to be different this year going across the middle?
One would think hopefully an increased amount of targets. One would think hopefully an understanding of what they're doing in terms of actually targeting over the middle of the field. I mean, the thing that really bothers me is there's one play in particular, and it was in the Buffalo Bills game, where Jalen just got away from phantom pressure. He got out of the pocket when there was a good pocket, and he had A.J. Brown open over the middle of the field. They were backed up against their own end zone, and he tried to roll out of the pocket, and he rolled into actual pressure coming off the edge. Like, that's the type of play where a coach has to grab him and say, you had the play right over the middle. You had A.J. Brown right there over the middle of the field. Why did you instead try to follow him outside the pocket when the play was there to be made? It's wild to me. Now, I talk about the number. I think it was 74% of the passes that he threw over the middle were completed. which is a pretty damn good completion percentage.
I thought it was 78 actually, but okay. I mean,
it might be 78, even better. You're good at doing this. Let's do it. It can't just be when you feel like, oh, this guy's so wide open, I can make this play. This has to be a situation where even if you have that, proverbial wide open half step for a Dallas Goedert or Devontae Smith or whoever's going across the middle in this situation, hell, Johnny Munt, for crying out loud, you got to be able to make that throw. And that's something that I just wish they'd pound into the head of Jalen Hurts more. Hey, man, it's a lot better. And let's use this buzzword because I know this word always got tacked onto the offensive coordinator, and Jalen Hurts has escaped this word more often than not. Predictability. The coordinator and play calling is not the only thing that can be predictable here. How you defend Jalen Hurts, you can make him predictable. So if you're giving him the open field in the middle of the field, you know that you can give it to him because he's less likely to throw over that area. If you use the whole field, guess what? You're less predictable.
Absolutely. A couple more here for you. How is he going to help restart the run game? I mean, I think he was instrumental in his years. And by the way, before you answer that, if he's not effective running the ball, you think he's a $50 million quarterback?
No, absolutely not. He needs his legs.
How does he get that run game going?
Well, I think a lot of it comes down to
part of it, or is it part of the passing game?
I definitely think it's both. I definitely think it's both. I mean, Saquon Barkley has said himself a couple times already, especially through the Super Bowl winning season, that lanes are opened up for him because defenders are afraid of Jalen taking off. If they're afraid of two guys being able to run the ball out of the backfield, then that's kind of harder for a linebacker or an edge rusher to keep track of. That's what makes the read option so valuable. But if they know Jalen's not going to run, then guess what? If we're in a read option situation, I'm just going right after Saquon, end of play. But that's where the pass comes in as well. They were not anything near prolific in the passing game, obviously, last year. They weren't even anywhere near it in the Super Bowl victory season. The thing that I wanted to see from the Eagles last year that we did not was, hey, can you guys not be a bottom tier passing offense? And that wasn't to try to give more shine to Jalen Hurts. That was to just try to keep Saquon Barkley alive throughout the season so he doesn't have another 482 touches. You weren't going to have to rely on him as much. He still got 1,000 yards, sure. Now, do I expect another 2,000 this year? No, but if you keep that defense guessing with either Jalen using his ability to run the football, then I don't understand how that would make the offense worse. When he runs, for the most part, he's smart about it. He's not Carson Wentz. He'll slide. He'll get out of bounds. If he's scrambling to buy time, he'll throw the ball away. He gets into trouble when he tries to do the Superman stuff, trying to do way too much. If he runs the football the way he can run the football and be as smart about it as we have seen in the past, this offense will be great. If he throws the football the way we've seen him throw the football in the past, with the exception of last year, then this offense will be great. It's still, of all the things, it's still going to fall on Jalen Hurts' shoulders as to how successful this offense could be. But you take away the run game, then you take away any special attribute any quarterback has, they're not going to be as good.
Okay, I want to go here for a couple questions. You got time for 3 more questions?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I got to get to the fig tree. Come on now.
Okay. All right. I love figs, dog. I'm sorry I had to throw that tree in there, dude. That's my grandma here. All right. So Devontae Smith was the 10th pick in the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
The following year, you use a first-round pick to trade for a number 1. And you bring a number 1 in. In Devontae Smith's time here, me personally, and I'll get to the question here, I don't believe he's shown you that he's the 10th pick in the draft. I think he's a fabulous ball player. I think he's great. However, this coming season, do you know 48% of the targets that A.J. Brown had thrown to him was in double team? Last year, Devontae Smith, there's not even a metric on how many times he was double teamed. Don't you think this year's a big year for Devontae taking on CB1, taking on the role on press? Because if I'm a coordinator, Farzy, I'm pressing that kid. I want to see Lemon beat me. I want to see Tavian Wicks beat me. I want to see Hollywood Brown beat me. I want to see Goddard beat me. I don't want that guy beating me.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that a big year for him also on figuring out is this guy really going to be the next JSN? They got rid of DK Metcalf. Is that guy going to elevate to that?
Yeah, the first thought as you're going through that in my head, I'm going through Jalen Hurts' progressions. So that's even more pressure on Jalen to be successful because it's not just 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. No. It's you're going to be going through it rather quick, especially in this offense where so many guys you're going to be trying to scheme open for layup throws, if you will, for Jalen.
Yeah.
But no, it's absolutely a huge test. And yeah, it's got to be difficult. And I don't mean this as an excuse for Devontae Smith, even in the least bit, but it's got to be a little bit difficult to show that you are a 10th overall pick. It's got to be difficult to show that you're worth trading up for with the Cowboys of all teams. It's got to be difficult to do that when you're already coming into a situation that has a number one. You're coming into a situation where it's, I hate to use this, but 1A and 1B, when it comes to the wide receivers there. But let's face it. I mean, I don't just dismiss the idea of A.J. Brown being the squeaky wheel. And we all know the squeaky wheel, what does it get? It gets the grease. So Jalen might be trying to, or might in the past have tried to appease A.J. Brown at the expense of Devontae Smith being open by that half step or not being double teamed. And then later in the game, maybe looking around a little bit more, trying to go through those progressions a little bit more as the game is dictated. I find it, I'm curious to see what that's like, not just for the receiving core, but also for Jalen. But I think Devontae Smith physically has shown you he can be a lone number one. I said in the offseason, in the midst of all the A.J. Brown stuff, I don't want to even have to find out. I want A.J. Brown here. I want Devontae Smith here. I'd rather ride it out with those two wide receivers as opposed to see how anything else could work. But that obviously doesn't seem to be the case now. It seems like Devontae Smith is going to be the number one, and they wanted to make sure they brought in somebody that could at least become possibly a 2, a 1B, maybe to Devontae Smith's 1A. But yeah, it's a big test for him for sure going up into this season.
Man, I'll tell you what, spreading the ball around, throwing it across the middle, getting your tight ends involved. Devontae Smith benefited from having AJ on the field. I mean, there's just no way around it. Are these other guys going to help Devontae Smith as much as AJ helped Devontae? And here's another one here. How do you think Jalen Hurts adapts to an offense without AJ Brown in it?
Yeah, I think there's one obvious positive, which is you don't have to worry about fallout if one guy isn't getting touches. I think all wide receivers, every football player.
Book of the month clubs out. Is that what it is? All right.
Part of it, but it's also like, how the hell, if you're AJ Brown, like just imagine for a second you're in Jalen Hurts' shoes, you're a quarterback in the NFL, and you just threw 2 touchdowns to one guy, and then that week he's like using me without using me. And it's like, what did you do? What the hell, man? What do I have to do? What do I have to do to make you happy? That's part of it. But the other part of it is, I think the thing that really matters is he's a talented football player. Howie Roseman wasn't lying throughout the offseason when he said you don't get better by getting rid of great players. It's hard to get great players. A.J. Brown's a great player. Now, maybe A.J. Brown is already checked out, and for all intents and purposes, it certainly seems like that's the case. But watching him throughout last season, he looked like a guy who was checked out.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you see him against the Broncos give up on a deep ball that falls right there in front of him. You see him in the playoffs, a deep ball lands next to him. Then you see another one down the sideline that he barely fights for. You see this, the one that nobody talked about. In the Buffalo Bills game, first half, he's streaking down the sideline. He beats his man. The throw is there for him, but his left arm is being held back, and there's no call. There's no, like, him throwing his hands up in the air. Like, any competitor worth his damn salt is going to be trying to get that flag in that situation because you were interfered with. And he just looked like a guy that was done. Absolutely done. So there might be obviously some relief there for not just Jalen Hurts, but also the rest of the offense. But there's also one guy on the football field that's pretty talented that you're not going to have at your disposal.
Okay. Do you believe Jalen Hurts has become a better passer since Jason Kelce has left?
No, I can't.
Do you think there's something to the fact that he helped in protection setting, line calls, took a lot of the heat off him, which allowed Jalen to play freer and to be more of that schoolyard type dual threat player, that there was more responsibility taken off him? And do you think some of that responsibility and now setting protections has influenced the stagnant of the passing game? Do you think that that's hurt him a little bit in finding his pre-snap read and finding that guy, looking for pressure, holding the ball too long? Don't you think that may have played a little bit into it? Because if I'm not mistaken, correct me, Farzy, was it that like one of the first times that Jalen Hurts has ever been in control of like calling quarterback protections? I mean, I had heard that he had never really done it. How much do you think that has been a factor in him learning? I mean, dude, I've never heard an NFL quarterback have to learn how to set protections. High school guys at St. Joe's Prep know how to set protections.
Right.
I've never heard that before. How much do you think that's played a factor in this kind of wobbling a little bit when it comes to the passing game?
Yeah, I think if you're a second-round pick coming into an offense that already has Jason Kelce and you're a back, I don't think that's changed. I think Jason Kelce is going to be setting your protections. I think that's the way that goes.
I do too.
The fact that two things. One, it absolutely impacted because you can't make an argument that it helped him. I mean, you look at the first year he did it with Cam Jurgens as the first year Cam Jurgens was the starting center. You win the Super Bowl, but you also did that with a hell of a run game. I think part of that is Jalen Hurts knowing great opportunities to set Saquon Barkley up and the offensive line being great. But the passing game, again, as I said earlier, bottom tier passing offense, if not bottom passing offense in the NFL. Fewest pass attempts, certainly. So you can't tell me that he got better at doing it. Then last year, I think two things. Look, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, not healthy. Jordan Mailata fell off the charts from being the top-rated football player in the NFL the prior season to this past year looking like nothing near what you saw the previous season. Then you also look at Lane Johnson not being available. You look at that in the beginning of the season, Matt Pryor coming in at right tackle instead of Johnson. I'm blanking on first name.
Fred Johnson?
Taking over for Fred Johnson. Thank you. Taking over for Lane Johnson. Like just things like that throughout the season. It just didn't make any sense. And then he pushed Jeff Stoutland aside of all people in favor of listening to Kevin Patullo more. Like I think a lot of factors went into the offense and the passing game taking a hit. But I don't see how you can make any argument how Jalen Hurts has become a better passer over the last 2 years when the proof's not in the pudding. I mean, yeah, the Super Bowl was great and you had little spurts, but in terms of a sustained passing attack, that's been few and far between.
I'm going to let you go on this. Has Don Mattingly, has he managed himself into getting that job at the end of the year here, man? I mean, get this. If you look where they are, they're like Atlanta's stupid right now, what they're doing. I don't believe that, and I think they're going to walk back. I still think the Phillies are going to make the playoffs.
So do I. Yeah.
I believe they're going to make the playoffs, and hell, I think they're only 1 or 2 out in the wild card right now. So all that being said, you think Mattingly, if he gets his team to the postseason, maybe second round, you think he rethinks that and keeps that gig?
Well, considering he didn't want the gig in the first place and now he has the gig, I think he can do a turnaround pretty quickly. It depends on how this team does, obviously, but he has them playing some great baseball right now. Last night was a little disappointing, especially after Andrew Painter only got pulled after 62 pitches, throwing 5 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, struck out 4. I know that baseball is a shadow of what it used to be. And I hate that, but I know that's how the game is managed now, unfortunately. We just want to make sure we give them confidence. We want to make sure we give them confidence. When was the last time you had confidence when someone said to you, hey, before you start sucking, we're going to stop now? That doesn't build confidence. Yeah. So I hate that, but the Bats, that's not why they lost last night. The Bats have the last 2 games only scored 3 runs, but overall, you can't argue with the success of the team. And it just felt like it just felt like the Phillies firing Rob Thompson was a formality. Yeah. Like everyone was just waiting for them to do it. Bryce Harper, 5 days, I think it was, after they fired Rob Thompson, talked about it like it was taking something from his teeth. It was just like, just get rid of this and we're fine. I never heard someone talk about it so casually the way Bryce Harper did. Just had to do that, so now we're good now. Okay, anyway, let's see what else happens. But no, I think he's done a phenomenal job. He's obviously given this team a shot in the arm. And as far as him sticking around, the obvious answer is it depends on this team does in the postseason. But also, I think there's got to be something alluring to the fact that you got your son in the front office and you're down there on the field. That's got to be a pretty cool thing. A GM manager, a general manager and manager tandem. That's got to be pretty special to be able to work with your kid like that.
Dude, Schwarber's on pace for 64 bombs.
Yeah, he's insane. He's
Right.
5 home runs, 5 straight games with a home run. That came to an end last night. Brandon Marsh is, if he's not leading the league in hitting now, he's up. He was leading the league in hitting. He's at 340 right now. I don't think that's leading anymore. But yeah, this team's been wild. Wheeler's been back pushing the rest of the rotation. They gave JT Real Muto to Andrew Painter last night behind the plate. Yeah, they're playing a pretty damn good brand of baseball right now.
Yeah, they are, man. I wonder, because Alex Cora getting that gig at the end of the year. I know him very well, actually, Hurricane guy. And, the Mets will be in that conversation for him. You know the job, I was texting him the other day. You know the job I would want? I'd want that Oriole gig. And the reason for that Oriole gig is because of all those young guys that they have on that roster. They need a bat, probably another arm. But if you look at the Mets, that's just an old, expensive team. They spent more money than the Dodgers did this past year. And they got, 15, 16 wins? That Oriole gig to me seems more intriguing because of the young talent.
Yeah, you're building in Baltimore. You're winning now if you take New York. If you take the Mets, if he wants a less pressure-packed position, it's certainly Baltimore. And that when that team is even halfway decent, Baltimore's a party. Like, I give them a lot of credit, man. Baltimore's an absolute party when they're even halfway decent. So I can see that would be alluring to Alex Cora.
You think he's in Clearwater at the end of the year, Alex Cora?
No, I don't think that. Do you mean with the Phillies?
Yeah.
No, at this point, it's hard to say that. Like, I don't think Don Mattingly just walks away. Like, I think if he's gonna have success, I think they're gonna offer it to him again to remove the interim tag. They might even remove it, down the line this season if things continue trending in the right direction. But I'm going to say right now, I don't think Don Mattingly is just taking this game. First of all, I don't think he's taking the bench job just because I'll be a bench coach now and whatever happens, happens. I think he knew. And here's the other thing. The Phillies did something very sneaky. They moved, I always forget the guy's first name, Calitri, Mike Calitri, Jeff Calitri. They moved him from bench coach to field coordinator.
Wow.
Okay. Which is like an obscure role that the Phillies really didn't have before. It's a real job in baseball, but they moved him to that to open up the bench spot, and then they hired Don Mattingly. You're not doing all that, okay, if you don't think you're going to fire Rob Thompson and elevate Don Mattingly, or elevate at least your bench coach. And that's exactly what they did. So I think some of the stuff was going on here already to kind of plan for Don Mattingly to take over. I think with the way Bryce Harper has talked about, with the way other guys in the clubhouse have talked about it, they were willing to move on sooner rather than later. And that's exactly what they did. So I don't think this is just as easy as, Don Mattingly will just take over for the rest of the season, and then we'll talk to Alex Cora down the line. No, they already talked to him. He's content with being at home for now. I think Don Mattingly is going to be the Phillies manager next season as well. That's my gut feeling. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if Cora is down there in Clearwater, but as of right now, Don Mattingly's got him playing some great baseball. I think they're going to ride that out for as long as it'll go.
I swear to God, this is the last one.
This better be the Embiid question, because I want a response to that.
Okay. No,
I'm kidding. Go ahead. Whatever you got.
You think Dombrowski's lost his fastball?
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, here's the one thing.
Dude, he was so good in Miami. He was good in Boston. He was good in Detroit. He brought Cabrera up there when they said, remember what they were saying down here with Larry Beinfest? They were like, he's a fat drunk. I'm like, a Triple Crown hitter? If that's a fat drunk, I'll take 4 of them. I mean, you bring like the best right-handed hitter since maybe Aaron, and you move that guy. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take him.
What, a 19-year-old?
Right? I mean, but he's in Philly. It looks like I don't know. It's like looks like it's wobbling a little bit.
I was very surprised at the end of last year that he would even hint at the idea of Bryce Harper not being elite, even if that's true, which it certainly was at the time last year. You don't say that about a player that is still under contract for like 8 more years or 7 more years. You don't say the way he handled the Nick Castellanos situation, damn ridiculous. I don't get it. There's one thing that's really making him look smart now that I hated at the time, and I got to concede the point to him. When they got Brandon Marsh, they traded Logan O'Hoppe, who was their top catching prospect, and obviously they have JT Realmuto. My issue wasn't that they traded Logan O'Hoppe for Brandon Marsh straight up. My issue was they didn't use Logan O'Hoppe in another trade to get a bigger arm or a bigger bat or anything like that. They just got it for another center fielder, and the center fielder was Brandon Marsh, who was hitting 227 for the Angels at the time. Well, Logan O'Hoppe's hitting like 220 now, and he's had injury issues with the Angels for the last 3 years. And now Brandon Marsh is just looking like a guy who's only going to lead the league in hitting. So that's one thing that you certainly look at. Acquisitions to the rotation that he's made with Jesus Luzardo has been good. Andrew Painter last night, hopefully that's him turning the corner. The extension of Aaron Nola, everyone questioned at the time. I was in with that. There's other moves. You need to see him make those glue guys type moves that you saw from Pat Gillick when the Phillies won the World Series in 2008 that you just haven't seen just yet from Dave Dombrowski. So a Hall of Fame career got some blemishes after they went to a World Series here again in Philadelphia. I'd like to see him be able to build that back up. But as of right now, I'm not seeing it.
Pat Gillick, man, when he was in Baltimore, he was great. I mean, that guy.
He got a lot of talent. Yep.
Dude, that guy knows talent, doesn't he? Does he not know how to build a roster? I mean, everywhere that dude has been, that guy knows what he's doing.
Here, I'll tell you my favorite thing real quick. My favorite thing was he traded Bobby Abreu. There's no analytic in the world that would tell you to trade Bobby Abreu. That is a gut move. That is I got to turn the clubhouse over to Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, and Chase Utley. There is no one on the planet that would look at analytics and be like, oh, Bobby Abreu definitely has to be traded. No, nobody's trading him. But with the way locker rooms work, with the way clubhouses work, all that move had to be made. They made the move. He made the move.
My friend, I appreciate you more than you know, and I thank you again. So what do you have in the garden? What have you planted?
We got what do we got? We got tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. You can't technically call them San Marzano tomatoes.
I'm going to take you a picture of my cherry tomatoes because they're my babies.
Ooh, they go with anything.
I don't tell people this all the time, but I got cherry tomatoes how you doing? That I have outside my window that I go out there every day and I water.
Calabrese peppers. Do have the carrots. Of course, I blank now on all of this. Cucumbers. Got the cucumbers in there and zucchini.
And zucchini. There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that checks all the boxes. And now I got to dig a bigger hole for the fig tree.
Bigger hole for the fig tree, my friend. Yes, indeed. Farzi, thank you so much, man. It's always wonderful talking sports with you. I really appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much, my friend.
Talk to you.
You got it. That is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you check his stuff out, man. Just really a great guy. And we appreciate always him coming on the program. Guys, do me a favor, please. Hit that like button. We got to pay some bills here on Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. That is because they win. With over $30 billion recovered, there is no firm like Morgan & Morgan. Tell you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650K. They got nearly $30 million in settlement. How about our friends in Florida that were initially offered $350,000? They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
Yeah! There's a reason the Karate Master was the #1 salesman in the lumber department.
Karate.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
How about this? How about this? So, out front of Lincoln Financial Field today, they're taking down the A.J. Brown banner out front of Lincoln Financial. Oh my God, what's happening? No way. Are there still people in here believing that A.J. Brown is still going to be a Philadelphia Eagle when yours truly told you the deal's been done for a long... By the way, Jaguars jumped into this. They've now jumped in, supposedly, on the A.J. Brown sweepstakes. So they took down the A.J. Brown banner out front of Lincoln Financial. Now, why would you do that? Okay? Why would you do that? Because you fucking said he was staying. That's why. That's why. Week 1, Commanders. 2, Titans. 3, the Chicago Bears. 4, Rams. 5, Jaguars. London. 6, Panthers. 7, Cowboys. 8, Commanders. Sunday night football, baby. Yes, sir. Wait a minute. You said he sucks. You said he's got multiple drops. You said the guy's not a good player anymore. He's got bad knees. Past his time. Patriots aren't a stupid organization. Okay? Facts, Hills. They're whining about AJ. AJ won us a ring. Thanks for your service, and we need to get cheaper on offense. Okay? Hey, Sue. Sue says that he gave up Hey, Sue, you think that the offensive coaching hiring of Kevin Petula also signifies you gave up? Why would you hire a guy that has no experience? Zero experience. Hey, by the way, one of my favorite things that I am listening to over these last couple weeks has been this, is that there's no doubt you have way more faith in Sean Mannion than you did in Kevin Petullo, even though Kevin Petullo was in the building for 4 years. You think a guy coming in, and by the way, I don't know, so I'm not indicting anybody here. Okay? AJ was disinterested last year. Even you have to admit this. Yeah, I do. Because the passing game sucked. AJ will be 29. So he will start declining. You got the Chipmunks at wide receiver now. So AJ, so you've got Lemon. You've got Devontae. You've got Elijah Moore and Dontavian Wicks. I do think I do believe you're deeper than you've ever been there. It's smart drafting on offense to save money for the defense, DeJean and Mitchell. Yes. Today, A.J. Brown. Tomorrow, Jalen Hurts. Next week, Jalen Carter. All will be gone sooner rather than later. Okay? Sizzler's been telling y'all for months that A.J.'s been gone. Oh, they didn't want to hear it. Lincoln Financial doesn't even want to wait till June 1st to start taking it down around the facility. Let's see the last time they even tweeted out anything with AJ in it. Let's see the last time. Let's see, Eagles. Let's go to the Eagles. Let's see on their social media page. If the Eagles, when's the last time they tweeted about A.J. Brown? Let me see here. Ooh. Look who they got in the building. 3.5 more hours. 2026 schedule release. They've got Jordan Davis. Ooh, look at this picture on the Eagle Twitter page. They got Saquon Barkley. They've got Jordan Mailata. They got Jalen Hurts. They've got Jahad Campbell. And they've got Jordan Davis. Huh? There's 3 games remaining so far. Washington, week 1. Titans 2. Rams 3. Bears 3. Monday night. Rams are 4. Jags are 5. Your bye is week 6. That's like your Super Bowl year. Kind of right there. Week 6 is your bye. Week 7, Cowboys Monday. You come out of the bye. Look at this, what you got coming up. Look at what you have here. From week 3 to week 9. You got a bye in there. You got Bears, Rams, Jags. 3 playoff teams. You got a bye, and then you got 3 divisional games. Dallas, Washington, and the Giants. Week 10's not out yet. Steelers, week 11. Dallas is Thanksgiving. Seattle, Saturday. Christmas Eve. Oy, here's my fish. Week 16, Texans. Sunday Night Football. Week 17. And you close the season up with the Gigantes. So Washington, week 1. Titans, Bears, Rams, Jags, week 5. Bye on the 6th week. 7 is Cowboys, 8 is Washington, 9 is Giants, 11 Steelers, 12 is Dallas, Seattle, Texans, Niners, and Giants. Week 10, 13, and 14 still have to come out yet. Those first couple games, Washington, Titans, you should have that. Bears, Rams, Jags. Let's see. The Jags won 12 games last year, I think. Rams, I think they won 13 ball games. You got the Bears, who were the Central Division champs. Then you go into a bye, and then you get the Cowboys coming out of the bye. And you get the Cowboys, who were 1-1 and played you pretty good last year. That's a pretty good little start to the season there. And I would even say this. At the end of the year, Seattle, Texans, Niners, Giants, that's pretty good too. Heading into the rest of the if you are going into the playoffs, you've got Seattle, Texans, and the 49ers, and then the Giants. Giants could be fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe. I don't know how good they're going to be. That's a reach, I would think. But they all said you were a hater. They said you love to stir it up. They said you were dead wrong, Big Sills. Oh, I know. He's not going anywhere. I know. Now they're all butthurt. I don't want to talk about AJ anymore. Well, get used to it, kid, because now we're going to be talking about the potential compensation you're going to be getting. And especially if it's a 2028. You got to wait 2 years to get compensation for that. Okay. 2 years. If it is 28. You get your next 2 football seasons will not benefit at all in any way, player-wise or draft pick-wise, for the next 2 seasons, 26 and 27. Make that make sense. Okay? You realize the irony, right? No one in the chat respects you except fans from other teams. Dude, then why the fuck are you here? That's like telling, hey, my wife's been with me 38 years. I've never heard my wife tell me she hates me and she can't stand me. Oh, wait, I take that back. Hey, that's not a very good analogy. Because I've heard my old lady say that. So that's not a good one. She's still here, though. Hey, Sil, she's still here, though. You know what I'm saying? She's still here. So what do I say? 40 years in, almost. Let's see. Hey, Sue, 1988 is when I met that psycho. So 88, I met her. And we've been together ever since 1988. Whatever that is. Sills won't be hurting for topics in 26. Keep that blank paper coming for pigs. Hey, DFW, are you crazy? This coming year is going to be iconic. 38 years. Good God. I met her when she was 22 also. So, yeah. 22 years old, I met her. I was with the Cowboys too, by the way. Funny. I thought you were born 3 months ago. Your brain cells don't act like you were born in 88. Still promote more Poke fans. Yeah, okay, guy. How you doing, Sue? Committed. You see, Sue? I told my grandpa, my grandma, when I was a young kid, that I'd be committed in one thing in my life. Well, 2, being a dad and being married. The rest of it, whatever. Congratulations, Sills. It's good to see lasting marriages. Too many people can't hack it anymore. I've never met a chick I fucking hated more in my life than my wife, but I've never met a chick in my life that I've ever loved more. If that makes sense and that's love, then so be it. I think that's love. We don't even throw that around anymore. Hey, I love you. My wife looks at me and goes, really? I've been with your sorry ass 40 years. I don't think we need to go down that lane anymore. I don't even think I can't remember the last time I even said, oh no, I think I do it when I hang up on the phone. But other than that, I go, do you love me? And that we don't do that here. That's not happening. That woman deserves a Medal of Freedom award. Is her hair fully gray yet? Almost. The games where AJ didn't get the ball last year, we won. When we force-fed him targets, you lost. So, Eagle fan, you want to see a numbnut Eagle fan here? Eagle Nation, you believe you're going to be a better passing offense without AJ Brown next year, don't you think? You believe that, don't you? We love Sills like Kraft likes massages. Hey, Chuck, I don't really like people touching me like that. So, I had one person give me massages when I was at the University of Miami and in the NFL. So I would pick one person. It would always be a chick. Dudes don't touch me. And that's not happening. Like, guys don't cut my hair. My aunt or a beautician cut my hair, because it's elbow dragging and I'm not having it. So, so like guys massaging me, I don't think so. That's not working for me. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I tell my girl all the time, if you're mad at me, go to sleep. Sleep it off. Yeah. I don't think here we go. Wait. You talk about ratings and rankings a lot. Those are based on attempts. No need to force attempts. I asked you a question. Do you believe you're going to be a better football team offensively without A.J. Brown? Let's see. She's in a coma now. Who, your mom? Do you believe you'll be a better passing team without A.J. Brown? Answer the question. So you're going to be a more effective passing team. Yes. All right. Hey, you're going to be a more effective passing team. In 2000, hey, I've got so many receipts this year. Efficient. You've never been efficient. Like ever. 1 year out of 5 years, you were efficient. First year, 28, you were 28th ranked. 8th, 16th, 29th, and 23rd. But now you're going to be efficient. We've been extremely efficient in the pass game. How many people believe that? How many people believe that the Eagles have been efficient in the passing game in the Jalen Hurts era? And they've utilized all their tools. How many people buy that? And Reyes, they were definitely not efficient in 25. Shit, were they efficient? 24? No. It's funny. Hurts went to church and got baptized. He's now a profound passer of the ball. You will see, Sills. Also, he went and got baptized. They dunked his ass in down near Wildwood. They dunked his ass. He came up. He's ready to rock. He's a new dude. He's been lifted. Congrats, Sills. You carved out a great career for yourself. Pro football to getting into media and using all the connections you've made over the years. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that's very true. And we appreciate it. And by the way, DFW, they say my style's a little like antiquated and not really good any longer. Or how about this? It's old. Well, then why are all the radio companies and why are all the radio stations and radio companies across the country, why are they in bankruptcy? If my style is outdated, why are you in bankruptcy? Why are you in bankruptcy? Okay? My style works. I got 3 jobs in broadcasting. I got so many jobs in broadcasting, my fucking ass hurts every day sitting and doing broadcasting. Your style is clickbait and rage bait. No, it's not. It's called truth bombs. Your quarterback sucks throwing the ball. End of story. That's not clickbait. That's fact. So as I respect your knowledge of sports. Thank you, Stephen. I respect you being here and being part of what we do here. Thank you very much. All these Jalenites are smoking their own stuff. How you doing? What stuff is that? Smoking all that stuff. I like Prince. I think. He gets on my shit too, though. Let's see here. Love him or hate him, Sills and Jacob Sports are #1 in Eagle content. That's very kind. Sills, keep up the good work. I used to dislike you, but now you're a lot of stuff you say is true. Thank you, Blaine. Means a lot, dude. Sills, the connections you have over anyone is crazy insane. Your style ain't outdated, Sills. Your style is 1,000% real. Unlike WIP, best show on YouTube, big facts. Thank you, Cosmo. That's really kind. Jalen sucks at throwing the ball, but at A.J. Brown had his best years with him. Figure that out. And yet your passing game as a unit stinks. So all the guys got their numbers, except the unit wasn't effective. Go figure that out. Okay? Yeah, well, we're not in bankruptcy. Yeah. And I don't have George Soros telling me what to say. I've always appreciated Sills' objectiveness. I love the work you do here, brother. Thank you. Sills, want to ask the chat something. There's a family of cats, 3 cats, 2 adults. My family has taken in and saved many animals over the years, but can't afford to take in anymore. Hey, dude, I've got a rescue dog and I've got 3 rescue cats. So I'm with you. I'm in the same boat as you are. Believe me, I sit around, I look at the can of cat food and go, I may be eating that bitch. I want to know if both Nick and Jalen are gone, if the offense sucks the first 2 months or just one of them. That's a good question, Senor. Senor, I wonder if the organization looks at those guys as a pair. They looked at Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz as a pair because in the end, Wentz wanted out because Doug was gone. He didn't want to stay here. Stills is like your quarterback stinks at passing. Well, yeah, but deal with it. And they win. Well, the Eagles don't want to win that way anymore. John and Zander are in the Zander, I think, you correct me if I'm wrong. Xander's in the room. They're not going to change as much as I think they are. Going to try to change. I think they're going to attempt to change a lot at the beginning, and then they're going to revert back and take a lot of that. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be shocked if by week 4, all that bullshit motion stuff, all that BS motion is all gone. I wouldn't be shocked if all that motion's gone. I would not. Don't have to agree with you, but always respect the honesty and entertainment. Thank you so much, my friend. Frank was good at drawing up plays. Doug was good at calling them. Is that what you are looking for? Think about something too. AZ, put this in context, okay? What did they all have in common? Doug Peterson and Frank Reich. What did they have in common? They were 2 backup NFL quarterbacks. And when Nick Foles, the backup quarterback, had to come in for Carson Wentz, what was the one thing that they all had in common? They all had been there. I think that transition, when Wentz went down, was one of the biggest things, was that those guys were backup quarterbacks. And they had been in the same role, say, as what Foles was. And that's why that transition wasn't that hard. Would you be surprised if by week 5 they take the ball completely out of Hurts' hands if the passing game stinks? Only if the run game's back to normal. Can you give us a game-by-game win or loss? The full schedule is out. Let's hear your thoughts. Is the full schedule out? I didn't see the full schedule. Let me see. Let me see if I would say John Clark, right? Let's see if John Clark put that out. Okay, John Clark's got the full schedule out. And unless this is different, let me do this now. Commanders, week 1. In Philly. I'll go Eagles. Titans. I'll go Eagles. Bears at Chicago. I'll go Bears. Rams. I'm taking the Rams. Jaguars. London, week 5. I'll go. Is that home? Oh, it said London. I think you win that game. Panthers. I think you win that game. Cowboys. Cowboys win that game. Commanders, you'll split that game. Giants. You'll win that game. Bye week. Steelers. You'll win that game. Cowboys. You'll split. As I said. Colts. You'll win that game. Arizona, you'll win that game. Seahawks, you'll lose that game. Texans, you'll lose that game. 49ers, you lose that game. Giants, I don't think you're sweeping anybody this year. So I'm going to say you're going to lose a Giant game, early one or later one. Yeah. Yeah, I got 8 wins. I think you're an 8-9 ball team. I'll stick with it. I don't have a problem. I'll stick with it. No AJ, new coordinators. I'll stick with it. Why? You did last year with everybody. I mean, Cowboys had the better division record. Sills, I don't care about the passing stats as much as knowing he's capable of picking apart his own defense when he needs to. He's in year 6. That shouldn't confuse him anymore being a vet. Agreed. Okay? Yeah, I gave him the Jags game. I think that's going to be a very tough ball game. Especially since it's in London. It's a neutral site. Sweep the Giants. What happened last year? What happened last year with the Giants? How come you didn't sweep them a year ago? What happened? Actually, they took you out in game 1. Oh, yeah. I know. No Jalen Carter. Still, yeah, it's still neutral site, dude. Okay? Let's see here. Very advantageous schedule. They ramp up to get the team really cooking. The tests early versus Chicago, and then an otherwise normal-looking schedule. I thought you had a normal schedule towards the end of the back end of the second half of the season, too. I didn't think you had really formidable teams. I mean, the Chargers and the Bears ran you off the Bears did, not it. The Bears ran you off the field. Let's see. Well, I do think this, though. I think this is a pretty good stretch. Week 3, Bears, Rams, Jags, Panthers, all division winners. Then John Clark's got the bye in week 10 here instead of week 6. So I'm going to go with John Clark. And I'll go with him. You don't get the bye until week 10? Boy, you better hope your guys are healthy. Week 10, that's a bit out there. For an older offense and all the injuries you guys are saying, I'd like to have that bye a little bit like, I'd like to have that bye. Oh, my God, there's a birthday game for Big Sills. The 49ers on January 3rd. How you doing? NBC. At San Francisco. Big Sills. Would I make an appearance on something like that? They're in San Francisco. I could clearly get into that game if I wanted to. Santa Clara, not a problem. I get my NFL credential to get in that bitch. On my birthday, January 3rd. What is January 3rd this year? Well, that would actually be next year. But what would that be? Sunday, January 3rd. How you doing? Yes, sir. That's a birthday game for Big Sills. How you doing? 49ers game is on my birthday. Big Sills. Birthday wishes for the Eagles to lose. All love, Sills. No way, man. It's better if you win. It's not better if you lose. Sills needs a helmet cam. I want to see his live reactions to the games. That'd be pretty funny, actually. All right, guys, let me pay some bills here. Number one injury firm in all of America for when you get injured on the job is Morgan & Morgan. There is no firm like it. Morgan & Morgan is the number one injury law firm in all of the world, not just America. So if you're ever injured on the job, do me a favor. John and Ultima Morgan have started this company over 30 years ago to get an understanding that they defend families across this country of ours. Do me a favor. Easiest decision you'll ever make in your life. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the jet setters and the high rollers, to the shot takers and the tastemakers. Welcome to the viewfinders, the thrill seekers, and the night owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
We'll see what happens tonight if that schedule is exactly right. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Excuse me, 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we'll see you on the flip side.